Bonjour and welcome to Marie+One. I'm Marie and today's plus ones are Vanessa and Gilbert Alvarado.
Yes.
Hi guys, how are you doing today?
Good.
Nice to see you.
Thank you for having us.
Of course,
Yeah.
I'm so happy we managed to figure out a time and
Right.
place. It's been a long time in the making, but so for those of our viewers that don't know you yet, would you like to introduce yourselves in a few words for us?
Yeah. So I'm Vanessa. I will be 38 this year. Mommy to our 3-year-old Lalina. Been married to Gilbert for coming on 12 years. I work at a national laboratory as an engineer. Been there since high school. And we also run a party rental business for toddlers. So.
Nice.
Well, my name is Gilbert Alvarado. In Spanish is Gilberto Alvarado. She was asking. But yeah, I'm a dad of our little 3-year-old. I also work at the national labs, and I also worked at the post office for 6 years. So I did that. But I'm also a drummer for a band. I've been with them for 8 years now. So, and that's my little hobby. And I also am a free spirit. You know, I like to just
Go with the flow.
go with the flow.
I am not a free spirit, so I think that's probably why it works.
Nice. I see. It's funny because I feel like that's how me and my husband are too. I'm the free
You're
spirit.
the free, okay, yes.
Yeah.
I would guess that.
Yes, and he's more he's more like you. So that's also I feel like that's why we work so good. But nice. Okay, well I'm so happy to have you. And okay, I have so many questions, and I mean we have time to cover everything. But I guess before we talk about your business, we'll keep it a little suspense before for our guests, for our viewers. And see, I'm I'm nervous too.
Yeah, it's all good.
Yeah.
So I want to take you both back to young Vanessa and young Gilberto.
Yes.
So you both born and raised in New Mexico?
No, I was born in Los Angeles, East Los Angeles, California. Yeah, and we moved over to New Mexico, to Las Cruces. I was moved over there when I was 8 years old. So, but pretty much raised here in New Mexico.
Okay.
So yeah.
What about you, Vanessa?
Yep. Born and raised in Los Angeles. My grandparents lived there, still live there. So,
Okay.
And then convinced Gilbert to move to Los Angeles too.
Yes.
It's still like small town, right? Even though it's growing, but it's like feels a little bit less busy than Albuquerque. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
But as hot,
Yeah.
I've heard.
As
yeah.
hard as Albuquerque. Yeah.
It's hot.
Yeah.
And so, do you have brothers and sisters?
Yes, I have. So I'm the oldest of 3, and I have my sister Delilah Alvarado, and my little brother. We're like 6.5 years apart, but he's taller than me. I'm like the little guy, and he's like 6'1", and I'm like little 5'9" guy, and yeah,
I have that problem too. I'm the oldest, but I'm the smallest.
yeah,
No, okay.
yeah. So, but yeah, I'm 40, and I'll be turning 41 next month. Yeah, already. That's crazy. Huh?
Yeah.
You don't look
Yeah.
40
Oh, thank you.
or 40.
Yeah, so I'm the oldest, and my brother lives up here in Albuquerque on the west side, and then my sister, she is still down in Las Cruces.
Okay.
So yeah. And then my mom, she's out in Las Cruces, and then my dad, he lives in Phoenix, Arizona. So yeah.
Okay. What about you?
One brother, older brother. Yeah. But we're pretty close. We're 14 months apart. So we were a grade apart. So we grew up super close, and we're still close to this day. Yeah.
So your parents had the famous 2 under 2?
Yes. And they had us pretty young. My mom was 20 when she had my brother, and then 21-ish when she had me. So young parents.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you know, like, how was it for you growing up? Did you like having a sibling that was that close in age with you?
Yeah, it's the only thing I ever knew. And so, like, I always looked up to my brother, and he's very different. Like, super charismatic, outgoing. He's a superintendent for like a construction company. And so our minds are just very different. I'm very like type A, reserved, a little introverted, and he's very extroverted. And so he always included me and brought me along so that like I didn't feel, kind of like an outcast. So I think because of that, we were always super close. He always kind of kept me under his wing, but very different personalities. Yeah.
Nice. That's good that you were different, but then he was just like, hey, come come with us.
He
and
kind of
just
pushed me sometimes to like get out of my comfort zone, and still does to this day. So
how was the dynamic with your brothers and sisters? Your brother and your sister?
We're all the same personality. They're crazy. Yeah, they're
silly.
Yeah, we're always talking about movies and movie lines, and then it's funny because she doesn't watch all the same movies we were growing up. So I'll tell Vanessa like, "Hey, remember this line?" And she's like, "Yeah."
I don't get the inside jokes.
Yeah. She doesn't get the inside jokes. But then when I have my brother around, that's all we do is refer to like movie lines, and it's so funny. But we've grown apart, my sister and I, but we still keep in touch as far as making sure everybody's okay and stuff. But yeah, I would say we've grown a little bit apart, but she's a nurse, so she's also busy all the time. Busy. Yeah. And then my brother, he works full time, but he's up here anytime we get a chance. We'll go have breakfast or something together. Nice. Or hang out. But yeah, he's my go-to guy. He's one of my best friends. Yeah, he's a good guy.
Nice. And so you said you moved to Las Cruces when you were 8.
Right.
Do you remember your childhood before that? Why did you guys move to New Mexico?
Oh, well, we moved to New Mexico, I remember in the 90s, but probably like 94 or 90. It was 92 or 94, one of those years. But I remember my dad, because he was raised here in New Mexico. And in Hatch, that's where all the chili's at. So then, he wanted to come back, but how he met my mom, like just quick, he went into the Marines, and the Marine base training camp is out in San Diego. And then after basic training, he started to kind of just go out and party, and that's when he met my mom in Los Angeles at a party, and then they got together, and then from there, the rest is history. Then I came along, and they were like, okay, well, yeah, but one of the reasons too, even back then, they were saying that they moved to New Mexico because it was so expensive out there to live. So yeah, when we got out here, we bought a house right away. So it was pretty fast.
Nice.
We bought a house, yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you for your dad's service.
Yeah.
And for your service too as a family, because it's actually I learned that not too long ago. That it's always nice to thank even the family, because it's a family affair. Being in the military.
Yeah, that's very true.
So thank you. How was that for you growing up with a dad that was in the Marines?
He was always pretty rough on me. The Marines are pretty tough. Mentally, they like to be tough, and mentally and physically. So he was always pretty hard on me when it came to that. But I probably wouldn't want it any other way, because it's given me thick skin, and it's made me who I am as a person, and be having my guard up, and just be ready mentally for anything. He has taught me a lot when growing up. Him being in the military, and then I see it now because I'm around a lot of military people at the labs. So I'm not too, I guess, afraid to be around them. I'm not intimidated. So I'm just like, they're regular people like we are. So that's how I see it.
I think that being said, though, and I don't know if I'm thinking, I'll give the credit to his mom. Gilbert is so, he can be tough, and he can be like that figure of the household, but he's so emotionally and like vulnerable. He's not afraid to like express his emotions, cry, just be there with me, sit in that moment. And so I love that, because he can like be that strong person in our house, but also shares how he's feeling, which, some men don't feel comfortable to do that. So I love that he does that. And it's amazing. So
Thank you.
Yeah, she's gonna make me cry on this podcast. I already know it.
You know what? We have tissues not too far, so yeah, we're good. We're good. But no, thank you, because like it's terrible. I feel like when some men are like, "Be a man," or and I don't know why I take that voice when I say that. But it's like
do that again.
but it's the stereotypical, or what was it on another podcast? I think it was with Christian Bennett and Mammoth Rios.
They said man up. That
yes,
they don't like that.
And then they were talking about the toxic masculinity and all that good stuff, and so no, I love that, because that's what we're talking about with my husband right now. How are we going to raise our son? Because I want him to know it's okay to cry and own his feelings and his emotions, and not keep it in and just I'm not good at that. I'm an open book. So but I want to make sure that so he's growing too, because talking about my husband, because his dad wasn't there when he grew up, and so he didn't have this father figure. Gotcha. And so his mom took both roles in the household, which she did an amazing job. But I feel like sometimes he misses some cues on fatherhood. But and I had I had a father figure and a mother figure through my stepmother, but my own mother figure was a little lacking. So it's we're both trying to figure it out. Yeah. And it's hard.
It is.
It's hard to be parents.
Oh yeah.
It's harder than we.
I think before we had our daughter, I was like, no screen time, and she's gonna eat organic, and you have this especially my personality, read all the books, and this is the ideal way that we're gonna raise our daughter, because it was such a journey to have her. But no, what she's taught me is just to go with the flow, and that is so against my grain, but she has really taught me just, no, Mom, we're gonna figure it out. And I feel like I've really grown in that area, and I'm just so grateful for her, because I'm gonna grow as a mom, she's gonna grow as her, we're gonna grow together. And it's been such a beautiful journey, because it's not, every journey is different, and every parenthood and every child is different, and you can't apply the same thing to every kid, because they require different things.
I also feel that we're still learning to be parents. There's some things where you either get frustrated or you're or you just don't know what to do at a certain point, but then you're like, man, I could have done better on that situation, or just something. But at the same time, it's like, okay, check. I learned that. I will try to make it better. But going back to my dad and how she said it with my mom, I don't want to kind of get too aggressive. I want to also be patient with our daughter, so that when she grows up, she's patient too. Because right now she's like, no, Dada, go away. I want Mama. And
she's very much in a mama face right now. Yeah. I'm like, come here. Yeah. I'll take it.
She's taking full advantage of it.
Yeah. Mama, go, Dada.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It's probably like you too, Marie, with your son and your husband. There's some things from your childhood that you don't want to continue to pass on, right? Just traumas that you had, but then there's things that of course you want to carry through because it was a good experience. But I think as parents, we have to remember that these are little human beings. They are 3, they're 2. Their development isn't an adult, and so we have to give them grace and not get frustrated with them. And if you do, take a step back, and so I think that's something that we're learning together is hey, yes, I know that wasn't right what she did, but she is still working through it. And let's not physically, we're not about, our household at least is not about spanking and, any of that. And so using our words but it's hard. Sometimes you get frustrated or you had a bad day and you're like, okay, babe, you take this one because I just need a little break. So,
yeah, we have that too, where, you come back from work and you just want to, like you said, just 2 minutes, leave me alone. But then he just comes and he's hugging you and Jean, my son right now, he's just pulling, he's grabbing my finger and he's pulling me towards his room because he wants to play. Right. And I'm so tired and I'm just wait just a minute. I feel like I thought his first word was going to be attends. That's wait in French, because I said attends so many times.
Yeah.
And but hopefully no.
Yeah.
So, which is funny because this week he actually said his first like sentence, and it's in French, and it's Elle est partie la mouche. So the fly is gone.
Oh,
so
cool.
as you can tell, we have flies at home.
That's awesome. Yeah.
And I guess
a good story.
I said that a lot, and so he's elle est partie la mouche. But no, but all that to say that sometimes I'm like, and I want to get mad at him, but then I try to put myself in his shoes and be like, okay, my mom just came back from work. I want to play with her.
Right.
And of course she doesn't want to play because she's tired. She just wants a break, but I don't want her to take a break. And so, sometimes I'm just like, all right, let's just go. And I go with him like for 10, 15 minutes. And then I do take my little break just to change, take off the work clothes and stuff. But yeah, I feel like in a lot of different situations, we try to take the step back and be like, wait, like right now, of course he doesn't want to be in the cart at Costco to go grocery shopping,
Yeah.
even though I love Costco, but he really doesn't. So, okay, I wanted to go back to your childhood.
Yeah.
So born and raised in Las Lunas. I feel like I'm gonna get so confused during the episode. So you are from Las Cruces.
Yes.
Now you both live in Las Lunas.
That's right.
No, Los Lunas.
Los.
Los Lunas, Las Cruces. Okay. Okay. And so born and raised is in Los Lunas.
Yes. Yeah.
How was it for you growing up, and your parents? Do you know how they met, and like how was the dynamic there?
That's a great question.
I know we asked her mom and she's like, brought some cheeseburgers.
They definitely met in high school. My dad was like 1 or 2 grades above, and then so they definitely met in high school and have been together since. But childhood was good. Obviously, there's some things that our family, my parents are very young. And so I think they were growing up while raising very young kids. And so I think they went through the typical like financial things and relationship things, as they were raising us. But overall, my childhood was very positive. There's some things that I think as a family we know happen, but maybe don't always talk about, which is as we're raising our daughter, it's like, let's make sure that it's a safe space and that we all feel comfortable talking about things, because we're all going to go through hard things. And so, but I would say my parents did a great job. They were always there for us. Anything we wanted, sports, whatever, they were always there. Nice. But it wasn't a perfect childhood, but it was good. And I always felt love for my parents. I'm super close to my mom, I would say, is my best friend. And my dad will literally do anything. You call him up and he'll do anything for you. His love language is like acts of service. So I literally go to my parents' house and I go outside, my car's washed, and he'll stop by our house and clean our house, the backyard. Like, he shows his love through acts of service versus words. Sometimes I think come difficult for him. He does write beautiful poems though, so I'll get like a poem on my birthday or something. And so you just have to, I think, now that I'm a parent, just understanding that like they're doing their best, and if something's happened, there might have been something going on, but my parents did their best, and understanding how they show their love and receive love, I think, is really important. So yeah, it was a good childhood, but definitely some things that have shaped me and who I am and who I want to be, in our marriage and with our daughter, for sure.
That's good to be so open to talk about things too. I feel like for me, I'm realizing now that my parents were not just parents. I feel like when you grew up, like I talked about it already, but it's like you put a sticker, like your parents is, oh, well, she's my mom or he's my dad, but they are also adults. And yes. And I feel like, at least for me, I didn't really realize that until like not too long ago, where I'm like, wait a second, actually, they did have their own struggles in life and trying to figure out stuff on their own. And so, because I'm trying to figure stuff on my own right now too, and I'm like, wait a second, if I need to be able to have that time to find myself in that role, I need to also give them that grace too. And so yeah, it's been a journey. But so I want to assume that you were an introvert growing up and you were more like an extrovert. Is that the experience you had?
Yeah, I think sometimes introverts get a bad rap, right? Because like you can still be social. And so I think an introvert is you just need that alone time to recharge.
Okay.
And so I think there's always this like stereotype of like they're super shy and things like that. And that's not, at least for my case, like in a safe space, like with Gilbert or my brother or like people I feel safe around, I'm not really introverted. It's just initial meeting people or whatever, that's kind of, and then I do need that time to recharge. I'm just not, my social battery isn't very high. So
I would say, when we started dating, I remember her being nervous, and I didn't know where that energy was coming from. I just felt it from her, and I would just say, "Hey, you okay?" But then she'd be like, "Yeah, I'm fine." But then really she wanted me to ask her in a different way, like, "Hey, I can feel your energy. Are you doing okay? I know you're a little nervous," but at that time I didn't really know her. We were just dating, So it was kind of hard to like get to know her energy and figure out like how to channel it or help her. But I really enjoyed learning that about her because she taught me. She said, "Hey, I'm just not in a space where I want to be here, but can we do this?" I'm like, "Yeah, absolutely." And me, I'm like, "Whatever you want to do, babe, because I want to make sure you're happy and you're good." And I've always been like that with her. But it took me some time. Sometimes, like a typical guy, we need a couple of lessons before we actually learn. So before I'm like, okay, now she knows that I understand. I'm gonna be her safe space. So. Yeah, it's just, she's amazing. We would go on vacations together and we have fun. We would go to like a little concert together and she's there like screaming and having fun. But yeah, she's definitely just like my ride or die girl. And I just love her to death. I love how she's changed too. Like she's developed a really good green energy, and her patience have grown. Before we started dating, she didn't have a lot of patience, So. But yeah. But she's just amazing how she's like. But with me, I've always been kick back and chill, and she can tell me like, "Hey, you want to go get tacos or something?" Like, "Yeah, let's go. Let's go to the taco truck I just saw there." So that's just who I am. And I love how she supports me through, even playing in the band. I play in a band, and she surprised me, I think like 8 months ago, and she got me this new drum set that I wanted, and it was just an amazing gift. And yeah, it just shows me how that's her love language. She likes buying gifts, and that was just like, that hit me here, and I was just like, oh babe, that meant so much to me. And I already even she had brought it, she had got my mom to bring it up from Las Cruces, and I already had my other drum set ready, packed for the gig. And I said, "Okay, I'm taking out these drums. I'm taking the new ones." And Ed had no idea. So it was, but that's who I am. I'm willing to try anything right away. So, yeah, I just love her energy. But, like an extrovert, she did have those, but growing up with her now, she's kind of right there in the middle. Like she's still, she knows both sides now. So and I felt like I've helped her out with that.
That's
being
true,
married with her. We'll be married 12 years this year. It's gone by quick. And it's gone by quick because I'm having fun with her. I'm enjoying life with her. And we have a little daughter, and we're enjoying life with her. And I enjoy every minute and second with her. So that's where it's
just
at.
a podcast of complimenting each other.
Yeah.
Yes, this is great. I love it.
Oh no, it's
counseling session.
It's straight,
I'm just drinking your
straight
words.
Up, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. But yeah, no, that's how I feel. I always tell her too. I'll compliment her, and she'll be like, "Okay."
Oh, I'm the worst at taking compliments. It just makes me so uncomfortable. Like, what do you say? Because I don't really believe it about myself. So I'm like, I believe his words, but I'm like, I don't believe that. So I'm like, thanks. And he's like, that's it. I'm like, thank you. So I got to work on that. Because then if he stops, I'll be like, why'd you stop? And it's like, well, you didn't appreciate it. So I try to get better. But yeah. Because it's like random. I'm like in my Walmart little onesie and like my hair's all crazy. He's like, you look beautiful. I'm like, okay. Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, that's funny.
It's funny because Joshua does that too with me sometimes. Yeah, it's like the worst. You really look you know, like right now I left and he did say that I was beautiful, but he's not gonna like per se say it. But then like you just woke up or you're about to go to bed and your hair is like all messed up and whatever, and it's like, oh yeah, you look pretty, and it's like, no, but thank you.
Yes. Okay, good. It's not just me then.
No, I can't, but I can't take it either. But and it's funny because I love to give compliments to people and all the time. But then when it's for me, I'm like, hey.
Right. Yeah. I wonder what. That's interesting. I wonder. You know, we'll have to look into that later.
Right. But yeah, we need to dig deeper.
Right.
Okay, so I want to know how you guys met, but before that,
okay.
Before that, I kind of wanted to see like, so growing up or before you met. Okay. Wait. First question. So you got married 12 years ago. How long have you been together before that?
We didn't.
Before that, so actually we've been together 13 years.
Okay.
We had a very short engagement.
Yes.
So.
Which is weird for me because, like, now that you start to get to know me, I'm like, by the book and how do I know? But with Gilbert, like, I knew instantly. I can overthink anything. The simplest thing, I can overthink it. With Gilbert, like, yeah, we kind of had this friendship going on for a long time. But, like, once I knew, like, I knew. So there was no questioning, which is, I think, a testament to just who he is as a person.
But so you were in your late 20s when you started dating?
Yes. Yeah. So I moved up to Albuquerque in 2009. And then at the time, I was just like, let's just try something new. I wanted to just get out. And, I moved up here with a girlfriend at the time.
Okay.
And then it didn't work out. And I became single in 2010 in June. And at the time, I was working at the dealership selling cars, so I was just more focused on selling cars. And but then time forward in October, that's when I met her. So I met her because she wasn't even my customer. She was my other guy, my buddy's customer. And he was like, hey, dude, you need to come talk to this girl. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, yeah, she's like perfect for you. I'm like, well, what do you mean? Like a customer? He's like, dude, both a customer. And she likes the Cowboys, and she's everything I think you would like. And I'm like, for real? Yeah. And so then I'm like, all right, let's go. And I was kind of like checked out that day. I was done talking to people, and I followed him, and I didn't see her till I got to the table. And then when I saw her smile, I was just like, for me, people say like, they ask that question, do you believe in like in love like right away when you meet somebody? She was like the person. Like I knew the day after that day that I was gonna marry her one day. Like I knew, like that was like I'm gonna marry this girl one day. So I just kind of like was playing dumb with her at the time that day. I was like, well, let me go see your vehicle that you want to trade in. So I texted her like, hey, I sent her a text because I got all her info on the paperwork that we do. So then that's the way to like give her my number, like down low. And then I think it was like that night or the next night she had said, hey, it was nice meeting you. And I was like, okay, cool. Yeah, it was nice to meet you. And then the rest was history. But do you want to talk about the rest, or do you want me to keep going?
No, you can go.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, we kind of stayed friends, and I lived in this little apartment, and she was like kind of like, wow, I met somebody, but then she wasn't ready, but I was ready. And then a couple months went down the road, and then an incident happened with my family, and she was ready to date me, but then I wasn't ready. So it was kind of weird. It was like a weird year and a half.
Was off, yeah.
Yeah, it was like a year, almost 2 years. We were just
from meeting each other.
Yeah, from meeting each other. We were like going through through things in our life that made us distant from each other. So, yeah, and then we would also just stay. We even stayed Facebook buddies, like, Facebook friends, and would see each other here and there. And I think I was ready to like see her again because one day she had went on this vacation with her mom to Las Vegas, and that's when she put out this album of like 80 some pictures, and I only like one picture. I liked it, and it was one picture her wearing this like beautiful dress, and I was like, oh yeah, like I'm gonna like that one.
I was like, oh, okay, he's still there.
Yeah.
He's sending me some vibes.
Yeah. So after that, I started like talking to her, and then we kind of stayed friends. And then in 2012, in Valentine's Day, she had asked me, "Hey, let's go out." You want me to say that part? Yeah. Yeah. So it's just funny. She's like, "Let's go out." I'm like, "Sure." And she had emailed me from work. I still have the emails, and she's like, "Oh, I'm just kidding." I'm like, "What?
I don't know. I think I got like nervous. I was like, okay, I'm going to reach out to Gilbert. Okay, he's down. And then I was like, never mind, I don't want to. And he's like, okay, weird.
Yeah. But it was,
I was still back and forth. But once we like finally, went through our own stuff, and then we're like, okay, let's for reals try this. Then from then it was smooth sailing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we made it official, like, I think the day after, I'll never forget it. It was like the day after like St. Patrick's Day, because she had like this surgery to get her wisdom teeth pulled, and she had her cheeks all fluffy still from the surgery.
I was all high on the medicine. Yeah.
But yeah, ever since then, she started like coming around and let's go on a picnic together. Let's take pictures together. That's when I knew. I was like, okay, she's wanting to be in a relationship. So then, time forward, we were dating. We even moved in together in July that same year. Like, things were moving really quick.
Fast.
Like,
Mm-hmm.
really,
Fast, yeah.
really fast. And
I think it was because we probably had a base of friendship, like like 2 years, even though it was kind of up and down. Like we knew each other and we were friends, but we knew there was always more. But just the timing was wrong for both of us. And so then I think that's why when we made it official, like it just moved quickly because we had that foundation.
Right.
So we moved in together, and then we were only dating for 9 months, and then he proposed on Thanksgiving. Yeah, with all the family and everything. So it was super special.
Yeah.
And then we were married the next year. So very quick. Yeah.
Yeah. Took a year after less than a year.
Yeah.
To get married. And ever since then. But yeah, I mean, I felt like I was still learning her, but at the same time, it was nice to still learn her as we were married. Mm-hmm. She was patient, I was patient, and I knew like, okay, I need to really develop myself as like letting her know like I want to be with her and I want to learn her and I want to be her man and let her know that I'm here to stay no matter what. And it's been good. We've just like any other relationship or marriage, you're going to have your ups and downs.
Yeah.
It's the ones that say that I'm going to stick through this battle and I'm going to stick through this journey of why we put the rings on in the first place and stick to it because we know that we love this person. And I feel like I'm a pastor right now. No. Patience, love, and faith, So, and that's true. That's what I base my relationship with her. Our marriage is patience, love, and faith, and that's where I'm at with her. So that's pretty much a quick rundown of how we met and where we met and how
he didn't sell me the car.
I was
going to say what happened with the car.
I went across the street, but he got my number, so it worked out.
She bought another car, and I was like, oh, that's a nice car. Yeah. But it was funny. That's how we met at the dealership. Yeah.
It was so random, right? Like, you always wonder, out of all these people in the whole world, like, one day you go and you meet your person, and it's like, because I've heard your story as well, and it's like, wow, it's just, I think it's so cool. Now it's a little different with like all the apps and different things. Like you kind of lose that just random kind of, hey, I met you in the grocery store or whatever. And so I think it's cool that we met.
Yeah, or in your case for you guys, I mean, if your colleague never came to get you,
right,
I mean, you know, we would probably not be here, or, you know, it's like, or if you chose to go to another dealership all in all and not even try that one specifically either, it's like, wait, like sometimes, the little like butterfly effects, things that happen in life are blowing my mind sometimes. It's I get caught into thinking of a million different things, and so.
And I know, Marie, I've listened to your podcast, so you don't believe in God. There's certain beliefs that you have. We believe in God, and there was this one service we went to, and you know, people always say coincidence, but the message during that day was God incidents, like God puts things into motion, and so I feel like there's things like that where it's truly fate. That like we met that day, and but I do appreciate everyone having their own beliefs and whatever that they lean on during good times and happy times. For us, God is, you know, a very central part of our life, and it's probably because of the hard things we've gone through. It's like having that there to get us through. Otherwise, it'd be even more difficult. You know? So.
And you know, I also like to say that for me, like, I think we talk about the same thing, but we call it different. Yeah. And so for me, it's like the universe, and for you, it's God, and that's why, you know, I love also having those conversations, because I don't believe in God, but I love hearing different perspectives, and so it's super interesting. So thank you for mentioning that, and thank you for saying that you listen to my podcast. Sometimes I forget that, you know, the episodes are released and people are listening.
Kelly Gilbert, I love that they're long, because I have a commute to work, so I'll listen to them on the commute, and I can like still, because you know, sometimes they're like shorter, and I'm like, oh, that's it. And so I do appreciate the long form. I love it.
That's what I love, because I listen to a lot of French podcasts, and a lot of those are like an hour or maybe an hour 30, but after an hour they're like, all right, let's cut this like that's it. And I'm like, no, they were like either like in the middle of something super interesting, or it's like, oh, okay. And then it's like, oh, I need to find something
a time and place. But like I do appreciate the long, because like washing dishes or whatever, you just like put it on and you can listen. So yeah, it is. You're doing a great job.
So I wanted to ask you guys too, so before you met, how did you do with like relationships? Were you more like the long time relationship type of person, or more like me, or you didn't really have someone in your life before meeting your one and only?
Well, mine was kind of interesting. I didn't really date in high school, I think, because one, I was a little kind of shy and just didn't have great confidence. And so, but in my senior year, I met, his name's Ruben, and we dated our whole senior year, but, towards the end of our senior year, we found out that he had cancer. And so that was just like a whole whirlwind for him, for our family. So I was with him he battled it for about 2 years.
Wow.
And unfortunately, he did pass away. And it was this huge life event that I think helped me mature as a young woman, of just caretaking for someone, and just I'd never seen someone battle through something and like actually pass. Like you always assume like they're gonna get better, and I just didn't understand, because he was so young and healthy and vibrant, and like, what do you mean? Like, there's nothing else. Like, I don't understand. And our families grew super close together, and I was very grateful that I was able to be that person for him. And so that was like my one love. Like, that's all I knew. And obviously I grieved so much after that. I'm still really close to his family. Not as close as we used to be, but I think that's why I didn't really date much after, because people didn't understand, why do you still talk to his family? That's weird. Or like, why do you talk about this person? It's like, because it made me who I am. It shaped, I saw things, I went through things that were highs and lows and lows. And like, if you don't accept that, I can't be with you. And so there were a couple of people that like I spoke to, and they just didn't understand. I'm like, okay, that's like a no-go for me. Gilbert, and I always kind of from the beginning, and it wasn't to like, it's not that I was comparing Ruben or anything, but like that was such a big part of my life. And like Gilbert, it was like, awesome, tell me about him. I'm like, what? Like, and that is just a testament to like who Gilbert is. And so immediately I was like, And he's always telling me like, oh, we should go talk to Annette and Ruben or invite them. And I'm like, you're right. Like he still to this day is like, understands that, or if I'm having a hard day or see something, like he allows me to talk about it. And so like I didn't really have a dating besides that, which was a very unique relationship.
Yes.
And so when Gilbert came along, then I just knew it was him. So I think similar to, just very, very like not much dating, which is totally fine because I don't think that's my personality anyways. So yeah, I learned a lot, but I knew that Gilbert was the one. So kind of made it easy. I didn't have to go through all those like crazy stories. So. Yeah,
I feel like her story was just interesting. And then even Ruben's folks, they're just down to earth people. Like you meet these people and they're cool. And I'm like, wow, this is cool. And I even got to meet their other sons, Zach, and he served in the military too. And now he has a baby. And you know, it's just, to me, to see all that they're good people. It's just crazy how Vanessa had to go through that. And then they went through that with their son. And it's just, it blows my mind and how, you know, God or the universe works. You know, it's just like life, you know, life is crazy. But for me, I never looked at it as like more of being jealous. I looked at it like, wow, somebody lost their son. Like that's gotta like really suck. And somebody lost their son, and somebody lost their son young too, like right after high school or during high school, and that's not fair. He didn't get to experience walking or experience going to college, experience getting married or anything. So it's one of those where like I almost feel like I would honor him too for his parents because he sounded like an amazing person. So I always like, for me, I never been the jealous type anyways. So I would always just tell Vanessa like, yeah, we should go talk to them, or we should go hang out with them, or, you know, it's so-and-so's birthday, you know, so what if we go over there and let's just go hang out, you know. And to me, they've always like treated me like family from day one. And I think even her parents, Vanessa's parents, Nick and Elaine, they were like, they never saw me as like, oh wow, like he's over here, you know. That's pretty cool that he came to their house. And I'm like, yeah, well, I mean, they're amazing people. Like, why wouldn't I want to meet them, you know? Because I love having good vibes, and they're good vibe people, and that's the type of people I want to be around with, you know, like, and or help or just be there. But yeah, I mean, but no, I really have Vanessa's back when it came to that, and I will always will. So, yeah. But my dating was weird. I know, yeah, my dating was really weird. I don't know. I had one serious girlfriend. That's the one I moved up here with, but I just felt like we were kind of growing apart in Las Cruces at the time, and we thought moving up here would help us, being away from our family, being away from like other situations, but then that didn't help. So I did date her for almost 4 years, and we did live together, but it was one of those where it wasn't like a complete connection for me. And that's why I was just kind of like, you know, of course, you know, going through the breakup sucks. You know, I was up here alone and I had no one. I was by myself, and I was like, well, I either have a choice. I can move back to Las Cruces, or I can keep grinding, selling cars. I have my little apartment, and she saw my little apartment. It's all, you know,
a little sketchy, but
yeah. I lived in a little ghetto neyborhood, but it's all good, you know. But I don't.
The one that's called International District now.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah. Yep,
Instead of the war zone.
Yeah.
Yes.
They're trying to rebrand it.
Yeah. Yes. Label it. But yeah, and then I even had like a truck that I would have to like work on like once a week for it to run, and so I was like, all right, I better either I stay up here, duke it out. And then that's when I met Vanessa. So then I really have to thank Vanessa a lot too, because even that time when we were dating, she got me to the next level. Like, even like, all right, I'm going to pull all this money together, and I bought my first new car so I can have something of my own. You know, and I bought my first new car, and I was like, cool, I have a new car, so if I want to take her out or show her that I have responsibility, then this is my car, kind of deal. So, but yeah, before that, I didn't really have a dating. I never thought I was like capable of dating, just because I was very overweight at the time. I didn't have like self confidence in myself. I've been overweight my whole life since I was little chunky kid. So never was the guy in elementary or middle school or high school that would have girlfriends. They were all my friends, but never my girlfriend, kind of good deal. So yeah,
That's a hard place to be.
yeah. So I didn't go to prom. I didn't do any of that. I didn't go to dances because I just didn't have that confidence. So I would say my first, that's why I feel like loved. All right. I'm going to stop talking. I'm gonna start crying. But yeah, my first love is her. So my actual love is Vanessa. So yeah.
The one that matters.
Yes. Yeah.
It's so hard because growing up, and I'm right there with you. I mean, it's because I feel like I had such a big personality growing up, but I didn't have friends because I was running, like you heard, I was running home and all the time. I had so many things to do. At the time, I'm sure you had the same, but we only had like the 300 texts a month on our phones.
Oh my gosh, I remember those. Dang. Remember those things?
And so you couldn't afford to send a K.
Right. Yeah.
I know.
Make it important. Yeah.
Yes. But those were also reserved for my parents, to let them know that my brothers and sisters were dropped, or that we were on our way back home and all that. So I really didn't have a lot to send to friends that I didn't have either way. And so growing up, I always felt like, and I'm still battling that a little, but I always wanted to be loved or to be friends with people or to be seen or just to be. And so it was so hard too, and then and then I have thyroid issues. I think I don't know who. There we go. I think we have the same Hashimoto.
We do. Yep.
I can think of the name.
Autoimmune.
Yes, autoimmune disease. Thank you. And so I've been battling weight myself too, and then and it all started when I moved to, no, I didn't move, I wish. When I went to visit my godfather in Texas for a month, and I came back and I gained 20 pounds. And all of a sudden my dad's colleagues were like, oh my God, telling my dad, your daughter gained so much weight, which I'm still like blown away by. I was like, okay, I was 18 at the time, so it's a little creepy, but, and in my family, but then you can also let us know about your experience, Gilberto. But, I just love saying that so much better than Gilbert.
You can say all.
Yes. In my family, I don't know what the problem is, but everything comes back to the weight and your physical appearance.
Yeah.
And so to the point that when I moved here, I just completely stopped sharing anything on social media, because any picture or anything was always, oh, you look a little fat on this one. Oh, did you gain weight? Oh, you lost weight? Oh, they always back to the weight. That at some point I was like, hey, I am not going to share anything anymore. I can't. Because it came to the point that every picture, every post, I would like look at it, rethink it, retake the picture. And then I was like, no, I can't do that.
Yeah.
And now I feel like thanks to Joshua, I'm finally like feeling good in my skin. It's the first time in my life I'm the heaviest I've been, but except when I was pregnant. but I feel so good in my skin for the first time, because I have someone that actually looks at me with love, and you know what I mean. It's like,
that's awesome.
Yes.
Yeah.
So how was it for you growing up?
Me?
Yeah.
I mean, I've always had. It's funny because like everybody would tell me, even friends and even family, like they would tell me in Spanish, gordo. Like they would call me that. That was my nickname. Was like, which is like little fat boy in Spanish.
That's terrible.
But then I just kind of like took it, like more of like, all right, I'll own that name. But they would tell me like, yeah, you're always smiling, and I'm like, well, yeah, I'm a happy person. I feel like I'm a happy person. Like I always feel happy, but I mean, I grew up in a Mexican family, which is on my dad's side, and then my mom's side too. They all are from Mexico. But as far as like from my parents, I'm first generation from my parents, born here in California. So, but yeah, growing up, it was. I would say we've had our ups and downs too. My parents were loving parents. You know, they loved us a lot, and they've had their problems, and they're no longer together. Mm-hmm. But they did have their problems, but they still showed us like what love was when they did love each other. So, but I would say growing up, there was, I would say, a lot of good, but then there was also a lot of bad. And there was just a lot of traumatic fights that you would hear with my parents, and just, the alcohol takes over people, but, there was also the good times where we would go on vacation and go camping and just have fun. And there was none of that craziness. It was just the craziness of the family. So I would say for me, it was like 50-50 when it became like the good times and then the bad times. As far as, and I would say no family is perfect, but because I used to drink quite a lot back in the day before I met Vanessa, and then I just kind of mainly stopped when I started being with her. I stopped drinking as much, and then it's because I noticed like the drinking that's what caused a lot of fights in my household. So then I was like, you know what, I don't want that for Vanessa, or I don't want that for our daughter. So I still drink here. I probably drink maybe once or twice a year, if that, But I would say like my childhood was, it's kind of hard because you asked me that, and I would say like it's good, but then there was also the bad. So it's kind of hard to like get my mind to like, what's it going to trigger to first? Is it going to trigger to the good, or is it going to trigger to the bad part? Like you have all these memories that were good and then all these memories that were bad. And it's just crazy how our minds work that way, even growing up. And you would tell yourself as a kid, like, like, is this my fault if things are going on, or is this my fault that this is happening? And then you just don't know. You're just a kid. You don't even know yourself. You're just trying to do your best and thinking that this is normal. Is this how normal things are? But for me, I feel like I took that as more of a lesson to put into my family now, to where Lalina grows up and she sees like, okay, like my dad didn't do this and my dad did do this. And so I want to look for a man that will treat me with respect and that would treat me like a lady, the very old school. For me, I'm very old school minded too, where like even when dating them, like open the door for her, or things like that, pull her chair out, brush her hair back, tell her she's beautiful, whether she's wearing makeup or not, doesn't matter. That's just how my mind thinks. And I want our daughter to know that she grew up knowing that her dad did her best to like show her that what a man should do for a woman. Because women, I feel like your minds are like just everywhere, already.
All
so
the
then,
time.
yeah, so why should a man bring that kind of drama in? Like a man should be there confidently and be the not just a provider, because like a lot of people think like, well, he's a provider, It's like, well, what do you mean? Like, just provides financially? It's like, what about spiritually? Does he provide you peace, to your heart? Does he provide you a safe space, And that's what I try to do with Vanessa, is I try to provide her that so that she knows that she's safe. And I do it. I try to be the right person, a good person from my upbringing now. And I'd look as my upbringing as a life lesson, that all the do's and all the don'ts. Because my dad did teach me good things, but then he also teach me like the things not to do.
Right.
And same thing with my mom. She taught me a lot. She was there by herself for a lot of the times, because my dad was a truck driver after that. He had to find a job. So he was on the road most of the time. So she was by herself, working a job, making sure we went to school on the bus, and she was a bus driver. That was her job. Wow. So it was kind of weird, but so then coming back to school, we couldn't miss the bus coming back and going. That was our ride to school. So we had to do it that way. But yeah, I would say my upbringing was good, but then it was also bad. But I would also actually would not change it, because I felt like if it wasn't for all the good and the bad, I wouldn't have moved up here and met her. So like I always tell her that, like, I would have never met you if it was good. If it was good, I'd be in Las Cruces still.
Right.
So, but then because of the bad part, I did decide to make it leave on my own, and that's what happened. So, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't change it now. God and the universe wants me where I'm at now, on this podcast.
Yes.
Chilling.
Yes.
With you guys.
Yes.
Yeah.
And see, it's crazy because sometimes I catch myself thinking, if I could, there's so many times, so many nights where I was like in my bed crying or not, but just like thinking that my life was just going to be, what was my life going to be, and being like, oh my God, like, or because I wasn't dating that, I said that already, but my dad would say, oh, are you going to be a lesbian, or are you just going to be old with cats? And I would, those nights I would just like be so sad and thinking, what's going to happen? And sometimes I remember those and I'm like, damn, I wish I could like go back and tell myself it's going to be okay.
Right.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I don't, because man, I fought so hard, and I just like, if I knew it was going to be okay, maybe I wouldn't have
tried something or
Right.
yeah.
And so that's why I'm like,
Yeah.
I wish, but then I don't. And like you, I wouldn't want to change it or change anything, but I want to, take a step back on a lot of things and just be like, okay, yeah, this was really good, but man, I don't want to do this. And like little things, like my dad, he always like cooked for us. And so sometimes we would have like themed week, like we would have the African week, and he would make like the, like different dishes, or like the Indian week, and we would eat like a, chicken tandoori and stuff like that. And we would have different weeks, and we would do like,
That's
learn
cool.
cultures
Right.
through food.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
that was amazing. But then also, the food he made was also really, really, really rich. And so, and like I was a little heavyweight, and then one of my brother is, and to me, I think what's wrong with his approach is that my whole life he was telling me I was fat. And so, and then now he's like, well, I just wanted you to know, or I wanted you to change. And it's like, no. Alors, first of all, and then my French comes back up, but it's like, first of all, I knew.
Yeah, right.
I mean,
especially as a young woman, like,
Yes,
you see standards, you feel a certain way, like there's a different approach that parents can take. That doesn't focus on a number or the scale. How about let's be healthy? Let's go for a walk.
Right. Let's do it together.
Yeah, it's
With my dad, it was always like a competition. Like right now, he goes to the gym, or he goes, and when he does something, and I think that I take that from him, he just he doesn't just do it. He does it like 1,000%.
Yeah.
And so he started running, he started biking, and now he goes all the way to like the south of Belgium on the bike. And it's like, all right, yeah, that's good. And then so he's like trying to challenge my brother right now to go to the gym, to go do this, to go do that. But I don't think it's the right approach.
Right.
I think he needs
it might be
to
coming
go
from
with
his
him.
own stuff that he
Right.
has, right? That
True,
he's like
true.
projecting onto,
Yeah. And so that's the hard part, because see, that's what I was telling Joshua. For us, if, with our son, I feel like, because we hear like other parents talking and saying, oh yeah, like, we saw a little kid the other day, and he was, I think he was 10 or 12, and he was saying, well, I'm on a diet.
yeah.
That just broke my heart, because I was like, And we talked about it with Joshua. I was like, I don't think that's the right approach. I think the parents do their best, like we said, and all that. But I don't think that's the right approach. I was gonna say is like it's a whole family effort, right? And it's like, let's just do it all together,
Yes.
and that, and to say when you're 10 or 12 that you're on a diet,
I know.
It's
that's
terrible.
sad. That's sad. Yeah.
So
It's tough.
Yeah.
I think as parents too, which you probably know, Marie, your kids are sponges. And so what you say to yourself, how you look at yourself in the mirror, like we have to be conscious of that because I think the other day Lalina said, because she got a cool like new bed and it's like a bed on top and you have to climb the stairs.
Oh.
And she said something like, I'm too fat. And I'm like, where'd you hear that? And we just didn't know that she like knew what that word meant. And we're like, no,
Right.
baby. And one, you're not even using it correctly, but like, that's not right. And I'm like, baby, you're too tall. Like you're too tall. You can't, you're going to hit your head. And so we tried to like recorrect.
yes.
But I was just like, it kind of took me like, I'm like, no. Because you could say that to someone who may feel that way.
Right.
And if, you know, kids have no filters and I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings. And I'm like, baby, don't use that word. That's not a word that we use. So that one kind of, I was a little upset, like, where did you hear that? And so even for me, who's not super secure, like I have to be a little conscious of like the way I talk about my body, or if Gilbert wants to touch me or hug me, like, you know, she sees all that. And so I think it's important for us to acknowledge that and make sure that we're aware.
I snipped that in the butt. I grabbed her by her two hands and I said, look, baby, you do not say that word. And I remember talking to her and I said, you do not say that. And you're not. You're a beautiful little girl and you are not fat, okay? Don't say that word again. Because you say that, I'm not going to be mad. I'm going to be sad. Do you want dad that sad? And she was like, no. And I was like, okay. Well, then don't say it no more because you are not. And she's 2. She'll be 3 here next weekend. But just like her saying it and me letting her know, looking at her in her eyes, I was like, look, baby. She knew I was serious. I was like, don't say that again because you are not, and you are a beautiful little girl. And then I looked at Vanessa and I was just like almost like a little upset. Like, where did she learn that?
Yeah, like where did
And
that
where
come
does she
from?
hear that from? And it's just crazy because, like, I mean, you know, we take our kids to the park or you take them or school or whatever. You don't know what they're hearing from other kids, you know, and they're just like, they think it's okay because those kids are talking that way. And it's like, no, it's not. It's not. And you know, she's our only little girl right now. So I'm going to be very protective of her. I'll be like, which kid said that? You let me know.
Right?
You know? Yeah, which one is it? I'll go to the classroom.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I'll let them know, like, hey, teacher,
Right.
if you have somebody here picking on my daughter, you know, you better nip that in the butt because if not, I'll make sure that you guys will take care of it, you know, with your manager, whoever it is, you know, stuff like that. So, yeah, because I was picked on too a lot, you know, but I felt like, because I feel like I'm in a good place in my life now. And I was picked on. I called out a lot of names. Even my dad, too. He would tell me things, too. You know, he would make fun of me all the time. And then, like, now I see him how he is. It's like, you feel like, you know, the universe or God, like, they bring this
Back
energy back. You get this you get the energy back that you put out into the world.
Yes.
So it's like, well, these people were putting out name calling or whatever, but then they got it back somehow. It's like, well, now it's like so to me, that's why I try to be a good person because I'm like, you know what, I was picked on, but now I feel I'm in a good place. I'm also in a good place because of her too. She's let me know how much we have each other's back no matter what. So yeah.
Yeah, and see, it's interesting because with Joshua, what we want with our son is wait not to be a subject, right?
Yeah.
It's like not even like think about, hey, am I thin? Am I big? Am I normal? Am I whatever? No, because we both grew up like for him, like he also had a nickname that was like 3-layer cake. It's like, oh, cool.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. Yeah. And so, you know, it's like, so, and for me, it was fatty. It was, I had a pitchfork instead of a fork, like, you know.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, you name it. But it's, and it's just so hard because, you know, you just define yourself through that. And it's almost like growing up as a teenager, because also I didn't have boyfriends, I always thought that I needed to dress up like more sexy, or I don't know what even that was at the time, but you know, it's like, you know, you have to do different the stuff, but like physically, you know, put makeup on to look pretty, or it didn't even cross my mind that it would like my personality could have an effect on things, you know. But I was a psychopath because I wanted to have like 5 children and be married right away, and I was 15. And boys were like, you know, and so, you know, that's the way it is. But I think our partners are who are, you know,
see you for who you truly are. Even if you don't believe it, they really do see you.
And I think that's a cue to know that they're the ones, right? From at least for me too, with Joshua, we push each other up, and we love each other for who we are, no matter what we look like, and I think that's so important.
And it's not to say that, like, yes, weight, like, it's not the number on the scale, right? Because both of us have Hashimoto's, autoimmune, and that's a disease that you don't see physically. It's not a physical disability, but you are exhausted. Your hormones are all over the place. You're losing hair. You're all of these things, and people don't see that. And so weight is an effect of that, right? And so I think that's, for me, what's frustrating is, like, yes, I would like to be maybe a different number on the scale to feel better, to get on the floor with my daughter, to maybe have, you know, more self-confidence, but I have all these medical issues that make it so much harder to change that number on the scale, which will in turn make me feel better. And so it's not just an outward physical thing, it's a how do I feel inside? But if you have those things, it makes it extremely difficult. And if someone's never dealt with health issues, chronic health issues, they just don't understand. No. They're like, well, just change what you eat. It's like, okay,
just eat less. That was my dad's stuff. Just eat less.
It's not that easy, right? I have insulin resistance, and so my body is so reactive to certain food. My blood sugars spike. It's almost like I'm diabetic, even though I'm not. And so there's things that I have to be very conscious of so that I don't have these crashes and feel really bad. In fact, you know, and then it turned into like fertility issues and stuff, which I know we'll talk about later. But weight is complex. It's not simply the number on the scale. And I think if people aren't compassionate to that, you got to find your people that you can talk to and like, they understand, right? But people think it's easy. Just stop eating and go for a walk. It's like, okay, that will help, but that's not, unfortunately, the end all be all. So it's frustrating.
I've been on a weight loss journey for how long now, babe? Now, like a year
and a half, 2 years?
Almost a year and a half. So I started, I'm down like to 65 pounds. And it's been hard, but like even when I see... Because I'll see some people in the gym, they're on the treadmill or on the Stairmaster, and then I'll like, even if they're on the Stairmaster for 5 minutes, I'll like fist bump them, like, hey, good job. Like, then I have one of my photos that I had from last year. I tell them like, hey, look, and they're like, that was you. I'm like, yeah, that was me. I was like, you have to like look at this as like challenging yourself. Do it for 5, then the next day do it for 6, then the next day do it for 7 minutes, you know, whatever it is. And because I know your mind can go in a dark place when you're not feeling confident about yourself, and it sucks to feel that way. And then you're just like, well, it's okay, and then you still go buy the bag of M&Ms, you know, because your mind is just like whatever, you know, it's just either a habit or whatever it is. But you know, I try to be like a positive for anybody that walks in there and that's like trying to do better for themselves, because I know where I've been in that hole. I've been in that dark place, you know, and nobody understands that dark place unless you've been there. So I try to be encouraging or just lift people up and say, hey, you can do this. Right. You can do this, dude. Like, you really can. You just come. And if you can't do the Stairmaster, just walk for like 10 minutes. And then all of a sudden your 10 minutes are up and you're like, oh, I can still walk, you know. Mm-hmm. Oh, 15 minutes. And then you're like, cool, I did 20 minutes, something. But, you know, I try to be encouraging to everybody because I know what it was like to be picked on. And, I love food. You were talking about
Oh, yes.
what your dad was cooking. I'm like, oh, yeah. Where's some of that food at? But,
Right.
I'm ready to eat. But, food is just a comfort thing for me.
Oh,
And,
yes.
Vanessa tells me, don't do that to yourself. Like, do what? And she's like, yeah, if you hit your 10 pounds, don't say, hey, let's go out to eat. It's like a
We
reward.
like celebrate,
Oh, yes.
with
Yeah.
food, which is an emotional thing, right?
And same,
You're
yeah.
sad, whatever, and it's fine. But there has to be other ways to
Yeah.
feed that, like.
And it's funny because socially, like to celebrate, what do? You go eat.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right? That's
true. Yeah.
That's
And I don't
insane.
know your culture, Marie, but like in Spanish, Mexican households, like it's all around food, and it's great, and it's an abundance of food, and it's almost disrespectful if you don't finish the food and
Yeah.
get seconds, and you're just kind of, that's just how it is. So you don't realize you're not eating one serving, you're eating 3 or 4,
Right.
and so I think just getting raised like that, like that's just the normal.
Right.
And some people it doesn't affect their body, and some people it obviously does. So it's just culturally just.
Oh yeah,
around
it was the same for me and my family, and it was hard for me too when I lived alone because I was raised into we would always have people over because we were 8. I'm the oldest of 3 brothers and
Yeah.
3 sisters, and so nobody would invite us. We would always invite, and so my
You have
dad.
3 brothers and 3 sisters?
Uh-huh.
Oh, wow.
And I'm the oldest,
Big
yeah.
family.
And so Christmases or any occasion, nobody would invite us. So we would just invite everybody. And so my dad always taught us that the house needed to be perfectly clean, but also we needed to show. My family was a lot about showing and
Gotcha.
and appearances, and so we needed to always have the table full of snacks and drinks and anything to eat and then my dad would cook the main meal, and then people would just have to sit, and we would just serve them all everything.
Yeah.
But then when I lived alone, my fridge was always full because I always
You're
had friends
still
over.
yeah.
Yeah.
But then I would always my thing is I emotionally eat too,
Yeah.
that I feel good or bad or whatever,
Right.
I eat.
Yeah.
And so-
then you feel yucky after.
Yes.
Like that didn't
And
help.
Josh it made me laugh because the other day was like, oh yeah, when I was sad about my breakup, I would not eat. I would starve myself. And I'm like, oh, for me, when I'm sad, I eat. When I'm happy, I eat. It's
Yeah.
I don't know that.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sad, starving myself feeling.
Right.
But so that's I'm not Hispanic, but in Belgium, at least I want to say typical Belgian families. I
Similar.
think that's how we are too. About just, and then whenever there is a ray of sunshine, it's okay, you get the grill out and you call everybody to come and just
Yes.
bring meat, and it's
Same
just
here.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
the same in the household as. Gosh.
which is good, but then which is the balance of
Yeah.
okay, let's go for a walk too after
Yeah.
that. So all right, so we mentioned briefly about Hashimoto's and stuff. I wanted to go back to when were you diagnosed? What made you check?
So I don't even know. It's years. So I've always had thyroid issues. Very young, I was on a thyroid medication to regulate that. Just because you have thyroid issues doesn't necessarily mean you have Hashimoto's.
No, that's
but
true.
I went to a really good endocrinologist who really cared for her patients, and she did additional blood work. And at that point, she had diagnosed me. So it was probably, I don't know, I'd say, 8 to 10 years ago. Can't really recall, but around that time. But there's nothing you can do for it, right?
No.
You can kind of have a better diet. There's certain supplements you can take, but I think awareness is really good just to know that you do have it. And autoimmune, your body is really kind of attacking itself. And
Right.
so it does affect things like fertility and things like that. So that was kind of something I had to overcome. But my thyroid issues, I actually had thyroid cancer. And so we went to a wedding in Las Cruces. I woke up and bless you,
Thank you. Sorry.
my neck was just swollen. I'm like, babe, something's going on here. So we went to the doctor, and she's like, okay, looks like something is going on. And I was like, okay. And so we did an ultrasound. She's like, okay, there's some things that look a little concerning. And I was like, okay. She's like, we're going to do a biopsy. So, and this was all happened super fast. So
Right.
they did a biopsy, they stick a needle and they pull out some cells. And we actually were in the office as they were running the pathology. And like, so 20 minutes later, they're like, okay, confirm you have cancer. And we're like, what? We were just kind of like, I remember Gilbert, like just these little tears, just like he blinked and they just like came out. And I'm like, okay, I can't be upset because he's upset. So I'm like, it's going to be okay, babe. It's fine. So I remember going to lunch with my parents and telling them. And my dad was just like distraught. I'm like, Dad, it's going to be fine. So
Poor guy.
Thankfully, this isn't the case for everyone, but thyroid cancer is very treatable. I was kind of annoyed because some people tell me that's the good cancer to have. I'm like, okay, well, you can have it. How about you?
Yeah.
Like, the cancer is
That's
not
a weird
good.
thing to say.
Yeah, and I think they were trying to be positive in the sense of like, it's treatable, likely is not going to come back. But I was just kind of like, that's not something you tell someone. So anyways, they went in, they took out my whole, so I have my scar right here. It's kind of pretty faint, but you can see it kind of down here. They took out my entire thyroid because I had tumors kind of on both lobes. I ended up having like 18 tumors, which is kind of wild. They were just embedded within. And it did spread into some of my lymph nodes. And so that was a little bit concerning. So I did have to do radioactive iodine treatment after. You take some radioactive iodine, can't be around anyone for 10 days because you're like emitting radioactive stuff. So Gilbert and my family would like go across the street and I go in the backyard and I wave to them and they'd deliver meals through like the front doors.
That's insane.
Yeah, it was very interesting. But that was the treatment. Took it out, surgery, did a radioactive treatment, and now I get like yearly ultrasounds just to make sure. There's a couple nodules that they're watching, but thankfully they haven't grown. And then they just watch your lymph nodes to make sure. But I ended up having 2 types of thyroid cancer. So one's papillary and follicular. Those ones are more common, but it was unique that I had both. And then there's another cancer that you'll probably hear on like, it's called medullary, but you'll hear it, I bet you'll hear it now, like on commercials, they'll talk about that. But that's the one you don't want to have because it's very aggressive. So I'm very grateful that I didn't have that type. But yeah, it's just something that I kind of went through. So among the Hashimoto's is that thing. So I always advocate for people with thyroid issues. Don't just get regular blood work. Get the full spectrum of the blood work. Make sure you're doing ultrasounds. If there's a nodule, make sure you're looking at the size of it and really advocate for yourself, because I think people with thyroid issues get dismissed a little bit. Like, just take your medication, you'll be fine. But it can really turn into something. So I always tell people, just make sure that you advocate for yourself, because your providers are busy. They're not always going to do that. So.
Right.
Yeah, see, that's crazy because I've had I felt some stuff like lately, and I talked to my PCP about it, and she was just dismissed me pretty much, and she was like, "Oh, it's nodes, like you know,
nodules.
and it could be, or you know, and or muscle nodes because you know I'm like stressed a lot, and it could be, and you know that's fine, but I was just a little frustrated that it was just like you know tossed aside again.
I would recommend going to endocrinologist, someone who specializes in the endocrine system, and they would probably listen to you and your concerns, and at least do an ultrasound. My brother's going through that right now. He's doing an ultrasound. Some things look suspicious. They're going to do a biopsy. And so, especially with the family history, I'm like, brother, you need to you have 3 young kids. Let's take this serious. So I would definitely recommend just find someone that will listen to you.
And see, I mean, I remember reading, because we, you know, before the episode, I asked my guests to fill in a little questionnaire, and you were mentioning other health issues. Would you like to talk about it?
Yeah, I think it's related to, so there's something called polycystic ovary syndrome. I was diagnosed when I was like 12, which is like odd, right? So, and this always makes it a little uncomfortable because I'm not super open about like female issues, but I'll speak on it. But like once I got my first period, then like they never came, and so it was like, that was weird. Like I knew for sure that, you know, I was maturing. And so my mom took me to the doctor. They did an ultrasound, and the doctor was like, oh, she has something called PCOS. We're like, what is that? So it's a bunch of cysts on your ovaries and things like that. And we're like, okay. And he goes, well, how does this impact me as a young, you know, lady? And he's like, well, you'll probably have irregular cycles. You might see excess hair growth. But long term, as a woman, and you're like, you know, when you want to have a family, you likely will have issues, you know, having a family. we're like, okay, we're 12.
We're at 12,
Me and my mom
yeah.
were like, whatever,
Yeah.
Obviously we'll share kind of our journey there. But yeah, I was very young when I had it. So growing up, like I rarely had a period. And when I did, it was, very heavy, and just because like your body wasn't regulating. And so it was very difficult. So like, I was always self-conscious because I'm like, when is it going to come? I'm going to be scared. I'm going to have this accident. And then like being Hispanic, like a lot of Hispanic females have like, thicker black hair, and that's kind of normal. But I had like hair on my chin and on my face and, all of these things that are related to PCOS. One of the things I struggle with the most is called insulin resistance. And that's just how my body reacts to food. And it's kind of like a pre-diabetic phase where if I have really heavy carbs or sugar, like I just crash. Like I get headaches. I literally will like fall asleep because my sugar
She can't even
spiked.
talk either, though.
Yeah, it's just really awful.
So I start talking, and I'm like, "Oh, you sound like a little hillbilly."
Like a minion. I just start mixing my words. And so when we decided to start having trying for a family, like after we got married, it'd been 7 years of trying and nothing happened.
So you started trying right away after getting married.
Well, we weren't like preventing it. And so I was like, cool, if it happens, it happens.
Right.
But after like 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, like something's up. And so, but I was finishing school. He was getting into his job. Like we were okay. We were traveling. We were doing all these awesome things. And then when we really were like, hey, like this is 7 years in. So we went to a fertility doctor. They confirmed the PCOS. I have all of these cysts on my ovaries. Was never having a cycle. I could never ovulate. So if you don't ovulate, you're not releasing an egg. You can't get pregnant. And so because I had no cycles, and if I did have a cycle, I would never release an egg. There's absolutely no chance like we could get pregnant. So we had to decide to do IVF. So in vitro fertilization. So we went on that journey. And that was a journey of like 5 years that we had to go through. And I think when we started IVF, I always more heard it from like a celebrity standpoint. Like this celebrity chose IVF so they can choose to have a boy or a girl and the baby can have blue eyes. Or, I always like associated it with like picking your child, and like it was just like this weird relationship I had with it. And then I did more research. I'm like, no, this is really for families that can't have children naturally. And so we kind of went into that journey, and we did the egg retrieval. So you get pumped up with all these hormones to produce, like to mature your eggs. And so that was all on my side. So they did this, they gave me all these medicines, and you go into a procedure, you're put under, and they retrieve your eggs. So I think I had like, what did they retrieve? Like
17.
17 eggs.
17 eggs.
Just eggs, which doesn't mean anything because they still have to be fertilized. So Gilbert gave his sample. So they took my eggs, they took his sperm, and they put them together, and they hoped that they fertilize. So like out of 17 eggs, I think, I don't know how many fertilize. We'll say like 15. And then they have them in these little petri dishes, and they start to grow, and some just like stall and stop growing, and some the cells divide and they start growing. So this was a very like traumatic experience because it happened over like a course of a week, and they call you every day. They're like, okay, 20 are fertilized. Oh, 17 made it. Oh, 4 more stopped growing. And you're just like, it was devastating. Like you don't really like know. And so you go through this like experience of like every call was like potentially like a bad call, and you're just like see your potential of your family going away and away. So like every day. So at the end of those calls, we ended up with 5 healthy embryos.
Right.
Okay.
So we had 8 that grew, but then they take a little biopsy and they send them for genetic testing. So they test them for abnormalities where like the embryo would not survive. There would be a some sort of chromosomal defect if they didn't have enough chromosomes or whatever. So we had 8 tested, and then we had 5. So we're like, we're gonna have a family of 5, babe. Like this is and so we were so excited because we had 5 healthy little babies. And then then from there, once you have your embryos and they're frozen, then you do what they call a transfer. So the woman goes through about 6 weeks of medication, mimicking your body being pregnant. So estrogen, progesterone, just you're like, it's just kind of a lot. So you get ready for the transfer for 6 weeks, and then you go into the office. They de-thaw your little embryo, and they basically place it into your uterus, and your body still has to do its thing.
Right.
Still has to like accept the embryo and be ready.
Right.
And so our first transfer, we were just so excited. We had told everyone. We like did a live on Facebook. Like we just wanted all the support. And so they did the transfer, and you wait 10 days till you take a pregnancy test.
Right.
So the hope is the embryo attaches in your uterus and starts to grow, and you're pregnant. And so at day 10, we went to the office, took a blood test, and they call you that afternoon. And we were like so excited. And they called us and they said, fortunately, you're not pregnant. And we were like devastated.
Yeah.
I think, I don't think we even thought there was a possibility that it wouldn't work. Like we were a little, I don't know that naive is the right word, but like we just, even though they told us there's a possibility it wouldn't, like we just thought we went through all of this and we thought we were going to be pregnant.
Right.
So the first one was devastating. Like we were just
That was really hard.
devastated.
Yeah.
And we chose, so when you do the genetic testing, they have the genders. And so, but we always chose not to like know until after. So when our first transfer didn't work, we called and said, we'd like to honor our little embryo. And it was a little boy. And so our first embryo was a little boy. And we were devastated, but we knew like, okay, we're gonna go for this again. And so we took 3 months off. It was pretty soon. We took 3 months to like emotionally heal, and then started the process again.
Did you name that little boy? For that little?
We didn't. No.
Okay.
That to me, I don't know. Gilbert can speak on this, but like
I did name
I
him.
think that would be hard for me. Like
Okay.
the connection, I think would almost break me beyond probably what I could. Yeah. But so I couldn't. I wanted to know who they would be, and boy or girl, but like beyond that, I really couldn't.
I'm sorry.
No, yeah.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, no, it's just kind of and then, so then we waited 3 months and we tried again, and we went through the same 6-week process. And this time, Gilbert and I decided, let's take a pregnancy test at home so that we're not like shocked. So the morning of, we took a pregnancy test and it was positive. And we were like, oh my God, it like worked. We were shocked, like just amazed. So then we took the blood work and they called us back and they said, guys, you're pregnant. And we're like, okay, this is amazing. And so there's a number that they test for. So there's the HCG number, which is the hormone that your body produces when you're pregnant. And so anything above 5 is considered pregnant. So they said, you're pregnant, your number is 8. We're like, heck yeah, we're an 8, whatever that means. We're like,
favorite number. Yeah.
We're an 8. That's amazing. Come to find out, they should have told us that at the 10-day mark, your number should be much higher.
Oh, no.
So we're like, okay, we're an 8. Heck yeah. So we went to celebrate. We were so excited. We told our family we were pregnant. I go back in on Monday because they take blood work and your numbers should double and it's just start to see. So we did the blood work. We're so excited. They call me and they're like, fortunately, Vanessa, your number is below 0. And I'm like, what? And they call it a chemical pregnancy. So what happens is the embryo attached and started to grow and just for whatever reason stopped growing. So we had a miscarriage on our second transfer. And that I think was more devastating, honestly. I think because we were like in bliss for 3 days of like, we're pregnant. It worked. And no, some people call it a miscarriage. I mean, I do. The embryo started, but they just I don't really like the term, but they call it a chemical pregnancy. A lot of women have it naturally, but don't know. But because we have all the science and the numbers, like we knew, so our little embryo didn't attach but stopped growing, and that was another little boy. So our first two were little boys, and I don't know if you want to speak to like how you felt with any of those transfers, or
Yeah, I emotionally, it was really hard to. It was just hard to like grasp to know that we were really trying and really hoping that this would work, and I was just in a lot of emotional pain because in my mind I was like why isn't this happening? Like, what did we do wrong? Like, we're good people and we do everything right, and we were just so devastated we didn't try again until like December. And then when we were trying, I told Vanessa, like, if we try again, and like, babe, if I really felt like I was like really pouring out my heart to God, and I told him, like, if this third one doesn't work, babe, like, I don't know if I can be a follower to Christ anymore. Like, I really can't. I can't do it, because it's just telling me that, you know, like, whatever you do in this world is not going to, it's not what you do or what you want. It's just how things just plan out. And really, if that's the case, then I don't have any business going to church or doing any of this no more. So we were just she was very hesitant. I was very hesitant, and we were very emotional, and we're like, you want to try again, babe? And she was like, yeah, I want to try again. And for some reason, the third one was just like, you can see when we went in there for the transfer, even like the staff, they were just like excited, and or something happened. Like it was just something different about this one. And when we did the transfer for the third one, Vanessa, I always say everybody's an artist, but Vanessa shows her art through like making videos. She made this beautiful video about our journey, and then we recorded this moment, and it was early in the morning. She couldn't sleep all night, and I couldn't, and we were just kind of like, okay, it's the day of where they take her blood. And this was on the third transfer, and she was like, I want to take a pregnancy test. And then we were like, are you sure? And she's like, yeah, okay. So then, but she got the one that say pregnant, and then the other one that has like the two little lines. Mm-hmm. And for the first time, that one did say pregnant. And we just like, yeah, it was just an amazing feeling to see that. We've never thought we would see that ever. She was just like so happy. She cried for like a minute, like very hard, probably longer than that. And we were just so ecstatic. And when we got our blood test worked, that's when the numbers came back higher, right?
The number was like 150 or something.
Yeah.
Which now knowing it's like, okay. And so our third is our daughter. So our daughter, Lalina Grace, she's our miracle. She, for whatever reason, she stayed with me.
Yeah.
She made it. And she'll be 3 now next week on Saturday. And she's it. She's our miracle. And after, so Lalina's our only, and then we had the 2. And unfortunately, we tried again twice, and 2 little girls, and they didn't make it. Our last transfer was just about a month ago.
Yeah.
And that one, unfortunately, same thing. The embryo stayed with me for a little bit and stopped growing. And so we tried 5 times. And I'm so grateful, though, that we do have Lalina. But to go through that, I don't wish that upon anybody. It tested our marriage sometimes, you know, because I was grieving and maybe he was not grieving. We grieved at different times and in different ways. And I think sometimes people, you know, will make comments like, well, you have one. Like, why, you know. And I don't think their
Don't say
intentions
that.
are
Yeah, please
ill.
don't.
Yeah,
Don't say
but
that.
it's
Don't.
like that's not helpful. Or, they'll make comments like that, and so that's really tough. But although we do have our daughter, the potential of our other children weren't realized, right?
Oh, yeah,
like
no.
the fact that I have 2 little boys and 2 little girls waiting for us, like, is amazing. And I thought, I don't know, I thought more than one. It just, I asked the doctor, and she goes, no, unfortunately, you guys are on the wrong side. Like, this is not normal. The likelihood that you have 4 failed transfers is not normal. Which, as a woman, like, you feel like a failure because my body still has to do all the right things. You can give me all the medicine, you can do all the tests, but for whatever reason, my body just didn't take them, and so that's something, I know it's not my fault, but that's something that weighs heavy on me of like, why did you reject them? What happened? But I know those are irrational thoughts, and those are things that aren't healthy to put on myself, but you still feel that as a woman. You feel that burden of how come I can't give my husband, more. But I don't know, we're hopeful. Like, we're not going to do IVF again. I can't go through the egg retrieval again. We have no more embryos, but we're hopeful that maybe, I don't know, there's some things we can try to like help, but my body just doesn't do what it's supposed to. And if Lalina is what was meant for us, amazing. But I'm still hopeful. I think maybe somehow, I don't know, something will happen.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's a miracle. But
I know we'll make fun of each other. She's like, babe, what if you're like 45? And I'm like, I don't care. I'm going to get down with my bad back, and I'm going to be there for that baby. Like, I don't care. I want to be there for that baby. I don't care. But at the same time, it's just, like she said it perfectly. You don't wish it on anybody. No. It's just, it's hard to go through all that. And it's hard for me to see her go through that. It was hard for me to see her. Like, for me, I grieved a lot. I would do it by myself. In the car, I go to the garage and cry a little bit. But I also didn't want her to feel bad either, because she is my wife, and I want her to know that I have her back no matter what we go through. So we just know that this is our little girl that we have now, and I'm going to do my best to be the best dad I can be her best friend, be her protector, everything. And I really know that this is still part of our journey. Like Vanessa said, we're not going to do IVF anymore, but I really do feel like we still have another chance to get another baby one day. And I'm really hopeful. But at the same time, I'm not going to be that person either to put that on Vanessa. I want her to know that I feel fulfilled, my heart, knowing that I became a dad. Because there's a lot of people that never got that chance. And they've wanted kids, and it's like, well, you know what? We had an opportunity to get that chance, and that's where I sit at in my heart. Like, right now, in my time, right now in my life, I feel 100% happy in my marriage, in my being a dad in this life right now, being an uncle. We have 3, 4, 5, God kids that we look after, and just, I'm really happy with my life. But if God blesses us with another kid, like, that's just like showing him, or he showed us that, like, hey, this is what you guys have been asking for. And I'm like, well, yeah, because we want it. We've been wanting it.
Be ready to receive,
Be ready to receive it. But yeah, I'm very grateful, and I know that I am one of the luckiest guys and one of the richest men in this world because of who I have by my side. And that's me speaking out 100% of I wouldn't have gone through all that IVF or the life now with no one else. Like when I really think about it, like she's it. And now that I have everything, I'm good. I'm very good. But then we get another baby, like cool. That's just another blessing, and then that just makes it so. But yeah, IVF is tough. But any women or any families that are going out there doing it or wanting to do it, like just know that you could go through some good times and go through some bad times, and that's pretty much it. And you can do. You're gonna have all these what if questions and emotions, but that's normal, and don't let it come between you guys. And that's just all I want to say. It's just don't ever let bad times come between you, because bad times go and come. So, but good times stay forever. Yeah.
Yeah, heck yeah.
That's a good one.
All right, let's stop right there. The best way to say. Thank you so much for sharing with us. I'm so sorry. I for what it's worth coming from me. You guys are so strong, and it's such a hard thing to have to go through. I can't imagine. I've been fortunate enough to not have had to go through a miscarriage. And even though it's crazy, because, like I could feel those little moments with you guys, the little, like you said, the 3 days where you were like, oh my God, and you project yourself and you're so happy. And I'm about to start my period, and last period, I was late, but I'm opposite of you. I'm a clockwork, so
okay.
I know, like, to the day, like that when it's gonna happen, and so I was late. But when I was pregnant with my son, with Jean, I was supposed to have my period the Thursday, and Friday morning I took a test because I didn't have my period. I was like, huh? And there was a teeny tiny line, and I was like,
is this something?
And then I forgot about it, and then Saturday morning I looked at Joshua. I was like, I still don't have my period, and so the Sunday morning I tested again, and then it was a line. Darker. And I was like, oh my gosh,
right.
And so this past month I was late, and I was like, and no pain, no anything, and it's weird because so it's I'm interested also in your cyst journey, because I actually 3 months ago we discovered that I have a cyst on my left ovary.
Okay.
Out of nowhere, kind of, and that's how I knew that. Actually, I learned that my mom had some her whole life, and I didn't know about. So I was like, oh, okay. And things that you learn about it. But then I was like, not even the cyst pain, like nothing. Right. So I was like, and then 1 day, 2 days, and I kept testing and nothing. Okay. And so I was like, oh, okay. But then you start hoping. You're like,
I was gonna say, did you feel like?
Yeah. Because we want a second one, but it was not really like, hey, planned either. Right. So I was like, and then we were talking, and we're like, oh my God, but okay, well, if I am pregnant, then so I'm not pregnant. But to me, it was a little traumatic because, and nothing compared to you guys. But I went to the doctor after a week. I took an appointment. I was Sunday morning. I took an appointment, and Sunday night I had my period. Yeah. But the appointment was for the next day after work, Monday, and so I just kept the appointment because I was like, well, it was very light period, so I was like, this is very unusual. I'm just gonna go.
Different, yeah.
And then I went, and the nurse was so mean, though. Like, the nurse was. It's because I sit down, she takes my blood pressure, and then she's like, okay, so you don't have your period? I was like, well, since last night I do. And she was like, oh, well, you should just not have come. I was like, oh, all right, she's going to be one of those.
Thanks, doctor.
Yeah. So I was like, well, but I mean, and so she just like ignores me, and then she was like, so are you in any pain today? And I was like, well, except the period pain, no, not really. Yeah. And she's like, well, we don't care, we don't really count like feminine pain as pain. And I was like, oh, and so I tried to like, you
What
know,
a
make
weird
it
interaction.
yeah, and make it a little like cooler. I was like, huh, don't you feel like it's interesting that women's pain, it's always like put to the side?
Right. She probably didn't appreciate that. Yeah.
She was just like,
that's awful.
She didn't care. She left. I was like, okay. The doctor came in and she was nice, the doctor.
Okay, good.
And she listened to, you know, my worries and my pain. And then I was like, you know, I mean, this past three months, I just learned I have a cyst and this and that. That's 3 centimeters, but 3 centimeters is just the limit of it's benign, but it could grow. And so it's like, and then I feel like also, I mean, and maybe I'm just paranoid, but you know, nobody cares because she's like, oh yeah, unless you start feeling more pain, we're not even going to keep an eye on it really. And so I was like, oh, okay, cool. But when you know that uterus is like, what is it, 5 centimeters? No, what is it, 10 centimeters total? And then I was like, that cyst is 3?
Right, when
like,
you compare,
yeah. I was like, oh, and it's benign and cool. Yeah. Okay, no, that's fine. And so she, you know, and then she was like, you know what? You could have gone through a miscarriage without knowing. And so she was like, we're just going to have a blood work done. Okay. And so if it's positive, then it means that you just went through a miscarriage. It was not positive, so I guess not. But
I'm glad you didn't have to.
But then I had to pee in a pot, right? And so of course I have my period, so there was a little blood. And so the pot is in the sink and the nurse comes back in to get it and she's like, well, this is not going to give anything because of just in my hand. I was like, for real, dude? Like, what the hell
you're making this really uncomfortable.
Yeah, and you know, I didn't at the time, but I wish I did. I think next time I will if it ever happens to me again. But I really wanted to tell her, you know what? I'm not having a good day, and you're just making it worse. You know?
Yeah.
You know, and be
I
like,
bet because no one does that to her,
right?
And so she just thinks it's okay.
Yeah, and I was just and or even just say maybe you're going through something too. But you know what?
Sorry,
you don't have to be crappy to me.
Yes, like, especially in such a vulnerable.
Right, yeah.
Like, you don't know what anyone's going through at any point in time. So just be a nice person.
Right.
Not overly, but just don't be a jerk.
But, right, yeah. Or don't assume. I don't. It was a terrible experience. And so the whole thing, it was like, and so, I left. And then I think that day I even had to go back to work. And so I just called Joshua and I was crying because it was like the hormones already are just like that all the time. Yep. So you're like, all right, so I'm sad, but I'm also like, I feel the waves of emotion and hormones right now, and I'm just not feeling good. And I'm just like, you know, and I started having a migraine. So I was like, it's not my day.
Downward spiral, for sure.
No. But man, you know, all that to say that we never know what people go through.
Yeah.
And and also, you know, it's funny that we were saying earlier about being maybe 45 and having another kid. I feel like it's so unfair because men, they can just have kid until they die.
Right. Like, yeah.
But then for us, I feel like it's also so unfair because I mean, you know, I'm 32, so I have a couple years left. But you know, I know that, you know, you said you're 38.
Yeah.
So I'm sending you so much good vibe.
Thank you.
Sorry. and good like energy, and because our clock, like they like to say, is ticking.
Right. Yeah. And I think we have. I feel like lately, and maybe it's just the group we're in, but I do see parents or couples having kids later in life. Mm-hmm. And I do think there's some benefits to that, you know, hopefully financial stability, relationship is stable. And so, but I also want to be conscious of, and everyone can have their own choice in their own life, but I also don't want to be a lot older personally for us because, you know, we want to make sure that we have years with them and things like that. And so I think we really have to think about, okay, we're really going to try these next couple years. Yes. And then after that, it's like, I don't really want a surprise because it will impact our lives very drastically. And so we're excited and hopeful about the future, and we're doing some things and trying some stuff, and we'll just see where it goes. But I think we're always optimistic that it's going to work out. And if not, Lilina is amazing and she's so great, and then she's our one. So,
and how was your pregnancy?
It was good. It was great. I did have gestational diabetes, but I think it's because of the insulin resistance. But like we ate really healthy. I walked all the time. Labor was great. Like It was great. Yeah, it was very good.
And your water popped.
Yeah, I didn't know that a lot of women's water doesn't break naturally. So I remember like going to the bathroom and then standing up. I'm like, did I not finish going to the bathroom? And then I'm just like, oh my God, I think my water broke. And so, everything kind of happened the way it was supposed to, and labor was good. And
do you want to
was
tell us your birth story?
Yeah. Because I used to work from home. And so, like I said, went to the restroom and I was like, okay, I'm pretty sure my water broke, but was not having any contractions. So I'm like, okay, I didn't feel anything. So I called Gilbert. I'm like, babe, I think my water broke. And he's like, what am I going? You know, husbands get like all worried and nervous. And my grandma was actually on the way to the house because she made me some beans. So my grandma was there to comfort me, and I was getting my little bag ready, and I called my mom because I wanted her to be, in the delivery room. And so she was even more frantic than Gilbert. I'm like, it's okay. So I'm like waiting for Gilbert. I'm like, he should be here by now. And it was like, I don't know. I just thought he'd be there like quick. And it was like 15 minutes later than I expected. Come to find out, years later, he stopped at Taco Bell to get food because he didn't want to because labor was going to be long for him. He wanted to make sure that, like...
I didn't eat breakfast, and
so I was like,
I knew it was going to be a long day, and I knew I was going to leave her sight, and I was like, well, I never was already lightheaded then. I was like, I need to eat something. I was like, let me just stop by. And then, of course, you think it's a fast place, and it's not. And it took forever. So it was just like, she gives me crap about it.
But because I don't know how it came out in conversation, but I found out like years later. I'm like, you did what? I was in late. I wasn't, but I was like, I was like being dramatic, like, oh, you left me at home.
Yeah.
But it was cute. No, we went to the we delivered at Loveless Women's, which they were great. Went into the little triage. I had no contractions, so like, okay, we're gonna give you Pitocin to get the contractions going. I'm like, whatever. I don't know what that is, but let's go ahead. And I've heard that Pitocin, so forcing contractions, are much more painful than naturally contracting. And so I can attest to that because I was like, I never had cycles growing up. So I'm like, something's going on. My stomach feels weird. They're like, well, what does it feel like? And I would explain. They're like, those are cramps. I'm like, oh, I don't like these because I never had cramps before. I never felt that, as a woman. So I was freaked out because I was like, this does not feel right. And they were like intense, And no, I labored naturally.
I think the nurse was like surprised.
Yeah, because I labored naturally. I'm like, can you check me? Because I feel like I'm progressing. She's like, no, you're a first-time mom. Like, you're good. I'm like, can you please check me, please? Because I feel a lot going on. So they did the exam. She's like, oh, you're at 8 centimeters. And I'm like, yeah, I told you. And that was like within 2 hours, like an hour, 2 hours. So very quickly.
They rushed in with...
Yeah, I know. So they got the little cart in. I'm like, am I okay? They're like, no, we're just getting ready. And then I was like, I don't know if it's too late, but can I have the epidural? And they're like, sure, honey. I'm like, thank you. Because I was like, at that point, I bet I could have done it, but I was just exhausted.
Oh, yeah.
So they gave me the epidural, and I was in heaven. I was doing my hair. My mom was braiding my hair. I was putting makeup on. And then I took a nap for like 2 hours, and we woke up at like 2, and they're like, you ready to push? Pushed for like half an hour, and she came out beautiful, happy. I didn't know how I would react. I just started laughing. I was so overcome with joy. I just was laughing, like a laugh cry.
Right.
And I was holding her, and all I saw was Gilbert. She's Gilbert's little twin. Like, just even
I
to
was
this
like
day.
ugly face crying like that.
Yeah, he was. He was just like, and my mom, your legs are numb, and my mom's like, thank God she didn't drop the phone, but she's like holding my leg, but also recording and like taking photos. And she's like, I almost dropped the phone in the sterile environment. I'm like, Mom. But I do appreciate the pictures to this day. But no, it was beautiful. Like it was just amazing what you're like women. Like
capable.
I look at her and I'm like, you literally, were frozen. And you were unfrozen, and you grew, and I grew you, and I fed you, and like women are amazing. It's so beautiful.
It's a trip. Yeah, it's a trip.
So beautiful.
Like do you see like I make fun of like the dads like getting sick, and I'm like, I don't know how these guys get like that. Like it's such a beautiful process, and I totally look at her. I mean, of course, she's very still attractive to me. I tell her all the time, "Babe, you're awesome," but or you're sexy or whatever, But one of those where like I look at her body totally different now. It's like not the same for me. It's like wow, like it's more like it's more like a respect thing. Like wow, like I totally respect how everything is for a woman. Like it's just amazing. Like, and I just
So cool.
it blew my mind, and we're for the longest time like wow, like if she's here, like she really is here. Like look, it's just like wow, your baby's here. Like this is really happening. Like for the longest, like for like 6 months, we're just like dang.
We were so in shock, like wow, she's here. Like it all was worth it, and she's here and happy, and we're doing what we're supposed to. I think.
Yeah.
She's still here, and we're doing good.
Yeah.
But yeah. So the pregnancy and the birth, that was all very positive.
Yeah, same for me too. But it's funny you say that because Joshua during birth was also watching, and it made me feel like a little uncomfortable just because, of course, it's not. I mean, you're not in your nicest. I don't know.
Yeah,
it's like
very vulnerable state.
Yeah. And I like to tell that part of the story too because when the last push and when they put him on me, my son pooped on me. But it's funny because I was pooping before, like, you push and there's one push. So, and especially with the epidural.
Did I poop?
No.
Oh,
No?
okay.
Oh.
I don't know. I guess not. They probably don't tell you.
Well,
it
they
just
were really
happened.
graceful.
Good.
Yeah,
I'm like, oh my God, did I? Okay.
I don't even know. Honestly.
I don't know. I think Lelina pooped on me too. Didn't she?
She did.
She did, yeah.
so funny. I was like,
We're bonded.
I was laughing and crying too, and it was such a great moment. But it's funny because that moment too, I remember they were like, when I was pushing, they were like, do you want to see his head?
Oh, no.
And they reeled in like this giant mirror, like in what is that? Snow White, the
Oh. Big old mirror.
Yeah.
And they tried to like angle it. I couldn't see anything.
Oh, no.
But I was like, yeah, no, that it's okay. It's okay.
I'm good, thanks. Yeah. I definitely would have declined that one for sure.
But and I really didn't want to, but they were like, no, but the mirror's for here. And I was just, and so I couldn't really see. So I was like, no, that's fine. But I really didn't picture that giant mirror rolling in. But, man, that was crazy. But and same as you guys, kind of sometimes still now we're like looking at him and it's like,
right? Yes.
We made this little human being. It's like, what?
Yeah.
Like it's
beautiful.
Yeah, it's
one of the best, one of the best feelings and one of the best feelings to know that like you grew him or you grew her and you're just like, dang, this is so cool. Like I don't know, I think it's like the most best process ever in the world.
Right.
That's just me though.
Yes.
But it was a long process because every day I'd be like, you okay, babe? You okay? You feeling okay? Yeah, I feel fine. You feeling anything? She's like, she'll be on her computer. I feel something. Like, okay. And then when I think, I loved it when I would feel her like move, and I'm like, oh, that's cool.
Yes.
Yeah, that was kind of crazy. Yeah, it was cool though. Yeah,
the moving was like, and I was wondering why she moved so much, and like now she just dances. She's like, she loves dancing, and like, that's the reason why she was probably moving a lot.
Yeah,
she's a dancer.
Music is her thing for sure. Yeah.
She loves music.
Oh,
she's an amazing little blessing.
And so. It's funny because you were talking to me. I mean, we met because actually thanks to Aritza that was also on the podcast.
Yes, she's wonderful.
Because she had used how do you say that, right? I don't. It feels weird to say. She had used you guys for Regina's first birthday. Your company. Because you guys, like you said earlier, you have soft play and bouncy houses for toddlers or 5 years and under.
Yeah.
And it's funny because Regina is months older than Jean, and so we went to her birthday and we saw that and we were like,
that's awesome.
We need that. Yeah. And I remember I contacted you guys right. I was like, oh my God, I hope you still have openings. And then the rest is history, like you said earlier. But so how did you guys start Toddler Town?
Go ahead.
I would say more. Well, I would say. Because of my mom. My mom, not because of her. Like, Vanessa was already following these moms out in, like, California that were doing that.
Okay.
Soft play. But then she never really talked to me about it. It was just more like a TikTok, like, oh, that's kind of cute. But then my mom called Vanessa and said, "Hey, I was thinking of getting a jump house for her first birthday," and she was like, "What? What do you mean?"
I'm like,
And she's like, "What is she's not going to be able to use it?" Like, and then she's like, "Hey, your mom wants to get a jump house for her birthday," and I'm like, "Okay." Then I knew, I was like, that's not a good idea. Like, she's
with
gonna
her
be
cousins,
Yeah.
it's the big bounce houses. You can't see inside.
Yeah.
I was like, no, babe, like, let's just tell your mom. Let's
yeah.
not do that.
So I had to tell her like, no, thanks, mom, appreciate it. But then Vanessa was like, hey, I've been seeing these little soft play things that are going on right now, and I'm like, okay. So then she's like, so she contacted one lady that was doing it here in New Mexico, and at the time there was only one person doing it, and then she had called her. She called her in May, and her birthday's in August, and she said, "Hey, we're looking for an opening on this date this weekend." She's like, "Oh, well, I'm actually sorry, but I'm booked all the way to October." And she was like, "October?" It's like, "Wow, you're booked up that far?" She's like, "Yeah." So then I remember her talking to her, and she's like, and I felt something from her. I knew she was gonna like tell me something. And little by little, she started like sending me like, "Look at these little things. Like, look at this. We can totally like get this for just for her birthday." I'm like, "Okay." Then we did it for her birthday, and we got like as many, and we even got one bounce house. And she's like, "I'm like, all right, cool, babe." But then the next day, she's like, "Babe, I think I want to start a business after we do her birthday." I'm like, "You want to start a business?" I was like, "What do you mean?" She's like, "Yeah, let's start going and doing birthday parties for everyone." I'm like, "Okay, like sure, let's try it." So then we set it up in the backyard, just like what we had. We only had like 2 sets of tiles, different colors, and then we set it up and did quick pictures in our phones, and we're like, "Okay, we'll use that to start the page." And we did her birthday, and then the rest is history. We started investing more. We got a trailer. We got 3 sets. We have
Yeah, it took off. I mean,
Yeah.
I think, like Gilbert said, there was one company that was doing it in Albuquerque, and she was really booked, right? There's only one person. So I was like, let's do it. We can totally do it.
Yeah.
We always wanted to start a side hustle.
always
And like,
wanted to.
I know that we're super driven people. We work hard and we're organized. I was like, we can totally do this. So then I was like, let's just kind of go all in. And we'll be 2 years in September, and it's been awesome. Like you've been our customer twice, and you're amazing. And just people really like love it, because really, what do you do for a 1 and 2 year old?
Right.
That's such a tricky age, because you want to celebrate them, and
Right.
you don't want to just pass them around. You want them, and you want to enjoy the party as a parent, right? You want to interact with all your guests. And so we knew there was a need, and it just took off. It's been amazing for us. And it is difficult because I'm sure when you're doing your podcast, you miss your son, and you miss, maybe some special events, but you are driven by a passion that you find this balance of like parent guilt, but also
Right.
trying to fulfill like your own needs and feeling good about yourself. And I think that's the most difficult part, is being away from our daughter. This is a weekend business. This is an all-day thing, right? You're celebrating other families while you're missing out on your own family. And so I'm very grateful for my parents, who are caregivers to our daughter. We almost say like it's shared custody, like she has her on the
For real.
weekends, and his brother and her Nino and family just like helps, and they
Nice.
really watch her. And we don't know how long we're gonna do it. I would love to keep doing it, but at any point that Lalina acknowledges that we're away from her, or she mentions something, or we miss soccer games, or that's at a point where it's like, okay, we either need to hire help, or it was a great endeavor and we're successful, but like that's not our journey anymore. And so we're not there yet, any close to that, but it's something that we are definitely considering, because we tried so long for her, and we want to focus on her. And so
Right.
hopefully we can keep doing it, but no one cares about your business like you do.
Right.
No one's going to treat your customers like you do, and no one's going to clean like you do and do all the things. And so we either need to find a really good partner, or, but we're not there yet.
I know.
But
And my toxic trait is like, me.
Yeah.
I love jumping and everything, and I'm just so passionate about so many different things.
Yeah.
But Yeah, because I mean, you know what? I thought you guys already had a team that was setting up and pulling down
That's
for
all
you.
us.
Yeah.
We have an amazing, so we have two young girls who are in high school. We have like our primary who's our ride or die. She's there every Tuesday to clean for us. When we have multiple parties a weekend, she rides with us and she's great. And then we have another little helper who's great as well. And if it wasn't for them, we probably couldn't do it because cleaning, we prioritize cleaning.
Oh, yes.
Kids are dirty, kids are gross. We sanitize everything. We clean every ball, every piece of soft play. And if it wasn't for our girls, like we probably wouldn't have the time to do it. But we don't have helpers. Like we'll call my dad or his brother or my brother, like, hey, can you help us pick up? Or we have a big event. And so like occasionally they'll help, but no, it's Gilbert and I every weekend.
Yeah.
So it's
That's a lot. That's a lot
a
of
lot.
commitment.
it's yeah.
Yeah, it's very physical. But there's some times when we have a weekend off and we're like, oh, what do you want to
Yeah.
do?
Yeah.
Do you want to just stay in the house we pay for? What do you want to do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We actually have time to go to the
Right.
zoo or
Yeah, yeah.
And it's probably like you too, Marie. Like the first year, we really just reinvested because it's like, let's get another
Oh,
set,
yeah.
babe, because we're always booked and I hate telling people no. And
Right.
I want to do these colors because there's this theme. And so the first year, we didn't pay ourselves at all. And we were working hard. I mean, we paid our truck, but we used the business for the truck, but we didn't pay ourselves. So this year is the first year that we like took a payroll and we're like, cool, like this is cool.
I know.
We're building a house right now. And so like we can buy furniture and we can put our down payment. And
Heck
so this is our first year that I think will reflect at the end of the year of like, was it worth it? Was what we paid ourselves worth it? But as you know, like starting a business, it's like, man, it's hard and you don't see the return coming, but then it starts coming and it keeps you in. And so I think we're at that phase of like, let's just stick it out and see if it's worth it. So
yeah. I'm still in the first phase.
Yeah.
It's coming
You
out of
will
my
get-
pocket.
Yeah.
And we'll hopefully.
Yeah.
I
Well,
can,
we did get your
I know.
your email, and I do like that. So yeah, she's gonna look for advertisers now. So
Sponsors
that's
thank
something
you.
that would be
That's
great.
awesome.
Yeah. So I think that's awesome. Like put yourself out there and you'll come across businesses who understand it
Right.
and it's not a like, oh, I'm doing it to help you. It's like, no, we get the grind. And so it's a mutually beneficial thing. And so we did get it. So yes, it is working.
Thank you. Thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah, of course.
And so, okay. I love that because I feel so similar to you in that way. Like, but oh man, I guess it's the same for you. I see so many ideas even on social media and I'm like, I can do that. Or I'm sure you heard me talk about the magnet lady and I'm like, oh my God, I can do that. Or I can do like, I even bought like a press to do like shirts and sweaters
yes.
because I'm like, oh my God, like I'm really good at repetitive stuff. That's
Okay.
why I'm a really good clerk at the post office
Yeah.
because it's the
Same
exact
thing.
same thing
Yeah.
every day.
Yeah.
And I feel bad when I say that because I feel like I'm downgrading myself. Do you say that? No, like,
No, that's a
you
skill
know,
set for
but
sure.
Yeah, I'm actually
Yeah.
pretty proud of that. I'm
absolutely.
good at repetitive stuff.
Yeah.
But so that's why I'm like, damn, and I see that I'm like, oh my God, everything looks so fun. And then, but then I realized that like my husband Joshua is a graphic designer, photographer, videographer, but he's
Cool.
already super busy.
Yeah.
So, I'm
Gotcha.
if I start something, it's most likely alone. and it's okay, but
Right.
I need to also know that. And so when I started that with the press and I wanted to start like a shirt line, it was with a friend, but we didn't really agree on the designs. And so I kind of stopped there because it was like,
Yeah.
hey, if we can already not agree, it's probably not a good
Right.
idea to keep going. But so I'm like, I think so big, but then I'm like, hey, I cannot carry it all by myself. So I find myself a lot of, with a lot of ideas where I'm like, oh, maybe later in life. Okay, no, maybe, okay, no. And so the podcast is great because it's a one-woman show basically with the guests. But so I've been enjoying this so much and I love talking. I guess you noticed too.
No, I think
So-
you're great. Yeah. I think you provide like a safe space for people to maybe they were a little reserved coming in and it's like, oh no, Marie she's allowing you to tell whatever story you want to tell.
I love the vibe.
Yeah.
The whole vibe.
And we just wished you like super continued success. And really, it just gets out there somehow. Every time I get a booking, I'm like, how do people find us? Like, I still get so surprised. I'm like, how? I don't know. We don't really advertise, or I don't. And so we're so grateful for our customers and word of mouth. And I think that will happen with the podcast. Someone will listen, then they're going to tell their friend, and it just takes time. I think that would be my advice for you, is patience, because we almost want this instant success, right? But it literally,
because you see where you can go.
Yes.
Same as I'm sure for Toddler Town, you see where like you could have like a whole like factory where you have all the supplies and everything, and you have all your. I mean, I'm there with you.
No, you just tapped into my head. Like, I've always thought that. I even tell her like, I've always wanted to have like 4 or 5 trailers, and then it's like, how many events did Toddler Down do it this Saturday? Oh, we did like 12. 12? What do you mean? Yeah, we have like 4 crews, and
which we could totally do. You know what I mean? It's like, at what point do you want to scale? And we have full-time real jobs that provide stability, but no, I mean, we're always talking about what new product, like we should get this cool bounce house that's like pink instead of white, or like a big ball pit for older kids. And then we kind of get more realistic, like, but then that means more parties, can we do that? Do we want to do it? So it's such a balance of, do we stay small and manageable, or do we, because like I can't quit my job, Gilbert can't, it's such a balance. And so I think that's where you got to kind of figure out, what do you really want to do, and the liability, and just, you got to be cautious about all those sorts of things. But the other advice I would give too is like, how do I say it, because I don't want this to sound disrespectful, but like, stay in your lane, like do what you are good at. Because kind of, I was like, I want to do party bags now, and I want to do balloons now, and I want to do this, like I can do it. It's like, no, you do what you're good at, because there's amazing people who do balloons, and there's photographers who do amazing work, and there's people who do crafts. And it's like, I think I'm like you, like I could do it. I want to do it all. I want to be like a full service provider. And it's like, no, like you do what you do best, and you create those partnerships and collaborations with people who that's their niche, and you work with them. So we kind of learned that early on too. When I was trying to do too much, it's like, no, you can't do that. So I've learned that.
Yeah. And I love that you actually partner and you offer like with other people, and saying, okay, so this is the basic package. And then, if you want balloons, then we like advise you to go with this and this, and like this person, I like that.
Yeah. I think one of the hard lessons that I think more I learned than Gilbert, because he's more like brush it off his shoulder, but you can create wonderful friendships with other people in the industry. However, there can be miscommunication with other similar companies that offer similar services, or like other party rental stuff. And it's like, it's not a competition, and and it's all about collaboration. And I think sometimes if you see a similar service, it's like, why by default is it a competition? It shouldn't be like that, right? It's like, hey, if I can't do it, can you do it? Is your calendar open? And so I had to learn kind of early on that sometimes there was misrepresentation of who we are, and that like really hurt my heart, because I'm like, I don't really know you, but why am I getting this negative feedback? And so I would just say, like, be true to yourself, create those really close friendships with people that understand the business and prioritize collaboration and not competition. And the people that see you for who you are will know your true self. Otherwise, you can't convince people of falseness. Like, they're going to believe what they want to believe. But that's hard, because my little soft heart is like, what do you mean we're not friends? Like, I thought we're all good. But it was just kind of a space that we had to kind of navigate in. But that's just part of being an adult and professionalism. And
I was going to say, I think it's weird to say that, but it's part of growing up, I feel like, because it's funny how, like, circling back even to earlier, Gilbert, when you were saying that you had no problem with Ruben's family. And but I think it also comes from, there was no jealousy. You were good in your shoes, and you know who you are. And I think you were already like grown as a man, and like to not feel threatened, and just and accept life and another family, and just embrace it. And I think it's the same thing, and I have that too. with like, that's why I invited last week Joshua from Against the Grain podcast. And so, it's like I inviting other podcasters and be like, hey, like
that's awesome.
And because also like I learned, and actually not too long ago, because I was in that mentality before of if I do something, I have to be the best. I have to be the one people go to.
Right.
But I heard something, and I can't quote it verbatim, but about how many burger places is there?
Right.
Yes.
But they're all open. They're all successful.
I love that. Yeah.
But they're all different too. And there is clientele for every single one of them.
Absolutely.
Yes. Yeah.
And so that's why I'm like, well, because when I started the podcast, a lot of people said, oh, another podcast, but it's like, well, yeah, but maybe it's another podcast, but it's my podcast.
Right.
Right.
There's something unique about it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so, and maybe some people are going to listen and are not going to find it any different than another one.
Right.
Even though I challenge you because we're different over here. But all that to say that don't let, and I know you guys don't, or for our listeners too, don't let people's fears or beliefs just stop you from trying what you want to do, because if not, there will just be one burger place out there, and there's many.
That's my advice. I was going to say is, or anybody out there that wants to start a business or do anything, is trust yourself, stay consistent, don't listen to the naysayers, and work your butt off. Those are things that Vanessa has showed me, and you don't have to listen to the naysayers. If you work your butt off and you trust yourself, you'll go a long way. You will go a long way. And if you have that support, who cares if you go ghost on people? That's just part of life.
Right.
You get to do your thing, you get to make yourself happy, and you get to provide for your family. And that's where it's at. That's how I see it. So, yeah, I will be a listener of your podcast.
Thank you. Thank you. That makes you I think on YouTube you would be the 50th.
Yes.
It's a good number.
Every number counts.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's funny, I joke about that, but I was just telling Joshua the other day that it's because I'm so like, I'm sure you do the same with your business, but I overthink so much. Like I have content from, actually last week wasn't Joshua, it was Karen. And I have content from her podcast because I got a little heated about immigration, because as an immigrant myself, it just makes me mad, all that immigration situation going on, especially with Mexican people. And so that reel that I got from the studio, I don't sound good. Not that I don't sound good, but I don't sound like I'm eating my words, and then I'm not like super clear. And so I want to share it because that is my opinion about, how, like, I'm no conspiracy theorist, but I'm like, why is it a problem? Like, to me, I'm a little naive in that sense still, but I'm like, well, it shouldn't matter where you are born on earth. You should be able to go live wherever you want.
Yeah.
God damn it. And so it just makes me so mad. The speech, the when people say America for Americans and whatever, just say the same voice as earlier.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So they're the same people somehow.
Right.
But, it's just. So there's so much to say there, but I feel like I wasn't confident enough in that reel, and I'm like, oh my God, do I want to be labeled as that person that like emotionally speaks about something that she doesn't know enough about? Or I kind of like overthink a lot of things about that, but at the same time, I'm like, we're having a conversation, and it's about, and we need to talk about immigration, and it's not okay. And so yeah. So
I think the tricky part with social media is people will take that clip in itself, right, and not context. And so people can probably get something positive out of it or negative out of it. And it's based on their beliefs. And so I think regardless of how you want to portray yourselves, whoever's viewing it, unfortunately, is going to interpret it the way they want to.
Right.
So yeah, you tell your truth. And I mean, you went through the process and you got, your citizenship and like that,
Yeah, but see, like I have, you know what? I have so many people coming to me and being like, but see, you did it the right way.
Yeah.
That just makes me mad. Please don't tell me that because the thing is, and I said that in the podcast with Karen, is that as a Belgian, and I think it's the same for Mexican. And I look at you, I'm so sorry because I know you said you're Mexican, but so I don't mean that. But you are American, so I don't mean to like look at you when I say that. But as Belgian, there's not a million ways to become American. It's either through birth. My parents were not American, so that was not a possibility. Through your work, but you have to have such like a niche, like you have to be like a heart surgeon or something so specific that they're going to give you the green card for that. I was a I can't think what am I, my degree is a management assistant. So no, because there's plenty of management assistant in the US, so they don't need to hire one from Belgium and give her a green card. Or there is the lottery. So every year you can apply. You have to have a bachelor degree. You have to be 21 and have a clean record, and you can apply. And every year it's a lottery. They pick people.
Really?
Yeah.
That's interesting. I didn't know that.
Or marriage. And it's funny because you have a quota per country.
Okay.
I think, I don't remember, don't quote me on the numbers, but like roughly it would be like maybe like 100 people every year from Belgium are picked. And it's like 300 in France, but it's like 2 in Congo. It's like, I don't know where they get those numbers, which is also a little weird. If you think about it, but yeah, so you can apply through that. I did try it, I wasn't picked, or marriage, and so that's how I came the K1 visa. But that's about it. Or I mean, I'm sure I'm missing some. Like you could come on a work visa, and maybe if you work for so long, then la 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 la. I don't know that enough to talk about those, but those are the main ones. And so when people are like, "Well, you can come the right way," I need to stop doing that voice. What is it? And that's what I want to tell people. Yeah. Tell me, what's the right way? What's the legal way? Yeah. You know, when people come the way they come, they don't do it by choice most of the time. And so it's just infuriates me. And then when people are like, well, see, like you did the right way, I feel like I don't even like as if I deserve a medal. I don't. Like I'm white. I have my maiden name is a Dutch last name, so I was privileged in my country because of that. I've been working since I'm 14, but I know that every student job or job I applied to, I was privileged, you know, and so I feel so like out of place, like I'm even not allowed to talk about immigration because of all that privilege. But at the same time, I'm like, well, I'm here and I have a voice and there's a mic in front of me, so let's use it to also, you know, absolutely. bring knowledge to that to the table. And so yeah.
Well, I mean, I think that's eye-opening to me because even for me who loves to learn and is knowledgeable, I am not knowledgeable in immigration at all. And so my comment to you was almost in a sense like you did it the right way, but it's because of my lack of knowledge of the conversation and the topics, right? And so I think it is important that you do talk about it. One, to share the knowledge to people that are open to listening. Yes. And unfortunately, some people, you're never going to change their minds. But for those that are, it's like, I did not know that, right? And so I think it is important because, again, some comments can come off with the best of intention, but it's like, you know, I didn't know that that's how you took that. And so let's talk about it. So I think it is important that you're doing that for people. Yeah.
And when I say that, like I'm super grateful. And I mean, I just became a citizen on 4th of July, which is really cool. And it was amazing, by the way, that the ceremony, because so at first it was so emotional because they took the list of all the people from every country and they said like Belgium, and so from Belgium you stood up and everybody was like applauding, and I was the only one from Belgium, and then they did every country, and then they said Mexico, and then there was like most of the people that stood up and everybody was just cheering. It was so amazing, and it makes me so happy because from where I'm from in Brussels, which is the capital of Belgium, it's so multicultural. And that's how I grew up. I grew up with so many different cultures, and that's what I love. Like I was telling you earlier, my dad we had like a week of like learning other cultures, like food and stuff. And so I just love doing that. I love honoring other cultures. And sometimes, like, for example, you saw me, I was Frida Kahlo for my son's birthday party.
That was awesome.
I just love it so much, but I'm also so scared sometimes that, because I guess people's weapon is like, oh, it's cultural appropriation. Same voice. And so, and I don't agree. And I so wish that we could just all celebrate each other.
Yeah.
All the time without whatever is going on. So I don't know. I'm just overthinking it because then I'm like, oh my God, it's hard. It's hard because you wanna advocate, you wanna say stuff, but you also don't want to be seen like the wrong way and then miss that chance. And so
it's complex for sure.
It's tough. I mean, we see it on the news and stuff. I come down from Las Cruces and the border is right there in El Paso, which I have family there. Mm-hmm. So then when we see it on the news, and I have no knowledge of it, but when in my head, I'm like, wow, there's a lot of people that are camping out by the border that are waiting to cross. They're from Venezuela, they're from Mexico, they're separated from their families, and it's like, we're pretty privileged to be born here, so it's a lot of things you think about. It's like, I don't know a lot about immigration, but I do know that people do come here to get a better life, and that's just point A why they decide to come here. But it's just, you know what, like, we're all trying to just do what we can and then do better. But yeah, I mean, that's how my mind works, and I wish the best for everybody for that. That's because if I was in that shoes, that would be, I don't know how I would handle it. I don't know. I was lucky to be born here, but I also know that people are trying to make themselves better, and that's where it's at. We have more land in New Mexico to put everybody here.
Yes.
Yeah. We have so much land in New Mexico.
Right.
We can put the whole United States here, and we would be okay. That's how big this state is. There's a lot of land, so we would figure it out. And that's just me saying what I want to say, but we would figure it out. I don't know.
No, I know. And man, to me, like the little naive me, I'm always like, well, if there was no border, don't you think that governments would actually fight to have the best government to offer to people? The best healthcare, the best education. Because if people could truly choose where they wanted to live, I think that's
like, pick me. Yeah, you offer the best. Yeah.
But then, then there's a lot of people. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's the naive little me that's like, oh my God. And, and I was in politics in Belgium for a minute, and I feel like there's that fight is in me, but I don't know where it fits yet. Sure. And so it's just so frustrating to see everything going on. So yeah, and I think it's because in that clip, I think I miss, maybe I can talk about it. So in the clip, I say, I get pretty heated, but I just say that, when people talk about, the illegal Mexicans and all that, because that's really what's going on right now. Well, I was like, so how did I say that? Well, I talked about the Mexicans that wash the dishes and pick the fields. And I was like, well, if they don't do those jobs, who's going to, are you going to do it, basically? But what Joshua was telling me too, he was like, well, some people would argue with you that not all Mexicans are field picker and dishwashers and stuff like that. And that is true. And the proof is that last week Karen is a lawyer, and I mean, but she's not illegal. And so most of the illegal, that's the jobs that they do, and to me, whenever people take that argument of, well, not all illegal or not all Mexicans are those type of jobs, I agree. But then it takes, again, the debate off the table. It's like, well, we put the spotlight on something else again. And it's like, well, not all Mexican. Yeah. It's like when people were like, Black Lives Matter, and people were like, well, what about white life? And it's like, okay, but see, we just took the spotlight on some, like, off and put it on something else again. It's like, no, it's not always about just taking the blanket to us. And so, so I'm sorry if sometimes I come off as
it's okay.
Weird, or it's not the right word, but as like,
I think you're just passionate about topics, and conversation, and that's totally fine.
And so thank you. Sorry, I'm just like I'm getting heated again. I'm like, oh my god, it's just, you know, I guess you put your finger on it, and we'll move on to something else. But for me, like, just be kind to your neighbor. Just be considerate, and like we were talking about, I'm sure that 99%, probably even 100% of our listeners, or majority, don't know you guys' story, and they would just meet you in the street, or honk at you on the road and just curse you out, but not even know what you guys are. You know, it's
right.
like you don't know.
Yeah.
So be considerate, be kind, and but not you, but you know.
Yeah. No, same time. Yeah.
So we have, you know what, we have a tradition on the show.
Yes.
Okay.
Just to get the conversation going, or maybe going another place. I think you guys know, but we have a stack of life question and a stack of expressions. If you both want to pick a card of each stack and let us know what it says.
Okay.
And then this one's expressions.
Okay, life question. If money and time were no object, what would you spend your life doing? Definitely. Okay, if money and time were no object, what would you spend your life doing? Do you have an answer?
If money or time?
Yeah.
Oh man, I would travel the world for sure. Just like,
I was thinking travel.
I would go hit up China. I would go to Japan. I would go to Belgium. Yeah, I would go to Germany. I want to go to Munich. I want to go to India. I want to go check out South Africa, North Africa. I want to go to Europe. I want to go see Great Britain. I want to see where King Arthur was once.
Right. The world is beautiful.
Yeah, I want to go north part of Russia. I want to go to Alaska. Like, again, I've been to Alaska before. It's beautiful.
Oh.
I want to go to the north part of Japan. You know, I want to go south part. I want to go to the south of Mexico. I want to take a vacation there. Never been to the Philippine Islands. Never been to Australia. Yeah, we haven't even hit the peak, I think, of what I want to do with limited time. Like, if I didn't need money, or if I had time, I would live and travel in places, and then, all right, I lived here, and now let's go over here. You know, I would totally do that.
Yeah. I bet that's a pretty common response. Yeah. Same.
Oh, so this
That's okay.
It says, don't watch the clock. Do what it does. Keep going.
Is that like advice?
It is.
Don't watch the clock. Do what it does. Keep going. Yeah.
It's pretty similar with time.
Do you get caught up sometimes in, just going from one thing to another, or watching the clock and, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. I think for me, sometimes too, I don't always feel content. I don't know if it's my personality, but I always want to do more. Like, I want to be better. I want to do more parties. But then when you do it, you're not satisfied. So I have this weird, I don't know where it comes from, but I wish I could be more content sometimes. And just like, I do live in the moment, but I'm striving for something more. But I don't know for what reason. It's because I am fulfilled, but
Can I speak on that?
Yeah.
So, like, for a long time, she'd be like, oh, well, hey, I made this spreadsheet. I'm like, okay. And then she's like, well, this could be done. And for the longest time, I'd be like, what do you mean? Like, it's fine. But I never understood her mind, an engineer mind, until I tell her all the time, like Iron Man. Remember, Iron Man? Mm-hmm. So the first suit he made was like these arms putting him together, and it was like he didn't know. And then you look at the end game, to where all he had to do was just touch, and it was nanotech. And so like their minds are always like, they're always like, it could be better, it could be better, and he got better and better and better, and that's just how her mind is. Like, yeah, she's never content, but at least she makes things better. You know, we did it in 10 steps. How can we do it in 7 steps? You know, kind of deal. And, you know, but that's just how her mind works. But for the longest time for me, I would get annoyed, but now I respect it. Like, so I respect her, how her mind works. So, like, now when she has an idea, I'm like, oh, okay, well, hold on. Put my phone down. Please do tell. Because I learned that where she'll be like talking to me, be like, huh? What'd you say? Never mind, Gilbert, you're not listening. You know? And I know when she says, Hilberto, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, now I have a new,
Nice.
hey. Yep.
Yeah. Like, oh, hold on, put my phone away. You know.
That makes me, it's funny because that just brought me back to Aritza's episode where I was asking her if it was like a Mexican thing to call your parents by their first name. And she was like, no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was surprised by that.
But yeah, she was explaining that at the restaurant when she was like, Mom, Dad, they were just like, just doing their thing. And whenever she was like, Susan, and then her mom was like, yes. So she was like, all right then.
Right. Yeah.
So that's funny.
Can you say my name in Spanish?
No.
Yeah, just do it once.
No.
Just do it one time.
You don't speak Spanish?
I don't. No. I think because I tried, but people would correct me, like almost in a like, you're not saying it right, or where'd you learn that? Because, you know, school teaches you the book way of like the very like traditional or like phrases you're not going to use, like I'm going to the library or where's the bathroom? And so I think because I get a little self-conscious when like people correct me, like I always have to be right. I'm never right, but like I just have this like, oh, if someone like points out I'm wrong, I get very defeated. And so I think when I was trying to learn Spanish and I would get corrected without it being like a positive experience, I think I just was like, okay, never mind. I can understand quite a bit, but I can't speak it. And so Gilbert is working at the post office. He really had to like brush up on his Spanish, and so he can. So it's nice to have.
What did you do at the post office?
I was a clerk too.
Oh, okay.
I help people. Where's my mail? I don't know. It's in the back. You want to go find it?
Never need to say that.
Yeah.
Some customers.
They walk in and they're like, I want to buy some stamps. Okay. And then you show them, we got this and this and this and, you know, but yeah, I liked working the post office. It was a good job.
Did you work in town in Albuquerque or in Las Lunas? Oh.
Yeah. There, I worked at the 5 Points in the South Valley, and then I worked up over there on Manal and Washington area at the Uptown.
Oh.
Yeah.
So hard offices.
Yeah. Which
That's
is
kind of why he left.
That's why I left, because there was like a lot of violence.
I didn't feel safe anymore. Like he would, and Gilbert's the type where he will intervene. And there was a couple instances. I'm like, you're gonna get hurt. And one of his coworkers, you know, he intervened with a domestic that was happening. He died. He got shot.
Yeah, a carrier.
And once that happened, I'm like, nope, you're done. I don't care where you work. Like you are more important to me, and I can't do this. And so I just felt very unsafe. So,
yeah, which is why I decided to, well, for multiple reasons, you know, I wanted to start a new career and start a new, and then I heard like the family life was like, you know, more understandable if I wanted vacation or something like that, you know, so. But yeah, no, the post office did teach me a lot. So, but there was a lot of work too, you know. Parcels, certified mail,
long hours.
Yeah, long hours. Dealing with the union. Yeah.
Yeah, and you know, I mean, I'm at the Edgewood post office, so it's a little like mom and pop shop.
Yeah.
Bigger mom and pop shop than the real one, but so we don't really deal with all that like you must have in town. Like that's what we hear about Albuquerque is that it's wild.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's the Wild West over there.
So
The Mexican Wild West. For sure. But yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, I would not go back, but you never know. Never say never.
Right? Yeah, no. And so you're an engineer. I know nothing about that. Would you like to tell us what it entails?
I was always a super good student. Got great grades in school, but never knew what I wanted to do. Like wasn't like, I'm going to be a doctor, I'm going to be whatever. And so I knew I was going to go to college, and I picked business, probably like you, like what's a safe degree? What's something that people need? So I got my MBA, and I was like, cool. So started working at the labs, was an intern, and then transitioned to staff. And I was on the business side, but I didn't really enjoy it. I started working with other engineers and more the technical side. I was like, this is my space. I really loved building things. I like to see like from concept all the way to like, most of my work there was like developing like missiles and rockets and things like that. So really cool things.
Wow.
And so when I started working with other engineers that did that, it was just so interesting to me. And I loved the teamwork. And so Sandia sent me, and I got my second master's degree. So Master's of Engineering and Systems Engineering. So it's not a traditional engineering degree like you would think, like mechanical, electrical engineer. It's more interfacing with like the customers to get their requirements, what their business needs are, working with the traditional engineers to make sure that they're communicating, they have their interfaces down, testing, all of that sort of stuff. So really in my wheelhouse, like all about details, all about precision. And I've been there for 17 years and done various types of jobs. The great thing is there you can have multiple careers because it's such a large organization. But I really, really enjoy it. It's a really good work-life balance, especially with our young daughter. Mm-hmm. But you still feel challenged, and it's great stability, even though they're kind of going through some layoffs right now. But I like it. And so I always tell people, just start college. Just take your basic classes, and then you're going to find what you are interested in, whether it's more arts, whether it's, other things. Mm-hmm. And I also tell people, college is not the end-all, be-all. Do a trade. My brother is very successful, and he's started as a carpenter and now as a superintendent. And so I do think that you should get education post high school, but it doesn't have to be a university. Mm-mm. It can be a trade. It can be cosmetology, but I think you should definitely have a skill or go to school so that you can open doors, because otherwise it's very difficult to live off minimum wage. And so I always advocate for our godchildren and for those that are around us. School is important. Whatever avenue that is, just go get some additional schooling so that your life can be a little bit easier, because everything's expensive right now. And having, those doors open will just hopefully make things easier for you.
And you can close them later, but at least they'll be open. Yeah. It's harder to open them later.
Absolutely.
Even though you still can go and do like night classes and stuff, but
it's much simpler when you don't have other obligations such as life and marriage and kids, but you can absolutely do it later. But so nice. I'm a proponent for education for sure. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for saying that. So as you know, we also have other tradition on the show, which is, so the last guest asks a question to the next guest, and then without knowing who it's going to be. Okay. And then, so my last guest was Karen, and so I don't read the questions until the day off, so it's interesting. And so Karen's question to you guys is, if you could go back in time, who would you meet and why?
Go back in time?
Mm-hmm. Who would you meet and why?
Albert Einstein.
Okay. Why?
I don't have that IQ or intelligence. I just want to visually see his movement on his eyes and his hands, how he explains things, his intelligence, why his theories were working, or how he had his theories lined up for whatever numbers. I think he was a pretty intriguing person. I would love to have talked and then see if he can just have a normal conversation with me. And if me and him have a normal conversation, it's like not too much of intelligence, then
are you a normal person?
I just wanted to pique his mind with that. And if it was that way, it'd be like, cool. But then also like, because now that I've kind of have like a little more understanding in my head, he would tell me something. I'd be like, well, explain that so I understand how you got there. And then I'm like, oh, okay. Then I can ask him questions. I probably only do like a day or a week with him because then I don't know if I can. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe one day or 1 week, one of the two. But I think Albert Einstein for me would be the person.
That is interesting.
I thought you would totally say like a musician or someone. Like I was thinking like, I don't know, some rock guy.
Oh, yeah. Rock people are cool.
know.
Musicians are cool. But I feel like people that have theories are very interesting people.
Yeah.
Mysterious
yes.
almost.
Mysterious, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you have one, Marie? I can't think of.
I don't know. I guess I'm going to circle back to what I always talk about, which is my mom. So I would probably talk to my mom and tell her a bunch of stuff that I'm sorry for a lot of things she went through and that I forgive her.
Oh, yeah.
I think. But celebrity-wise, I don't know. Michael Jackson, probably.
Oh, cool.
Just or go to a concert.
He's pretty iconic. Yeah.
So you can't think of anything?
No. Yeah.
No?
Because I know that's a common question, but if I think of someone, I'll mention it.
Yes. Did you guys want to talk about something else before we part ways today?
I don't think so. I know, like, for me, it was important to talk about our IVF journey and our family, because I think as women, sometimes you can feel a little shameful and, you know, I'm the only one going through this, or, you know, a husband definitely goes through his own emotions. And so I think it's important to, if you're comfortable, just to be open with your support system, because it's a very heavy burden. So that was like the most important thing for me, is to talk about that and our beautiful daughter. And then, you know, our business is awesome and it's great, but that was kind of my priority. So thank you for allowing us to do that.
Thank you for coming and advocating.
Yeah.
No. I feel like I was saying earlier, just no matter what in life, just trust yourself and don't listen to the naysayers. Work your butt off and you'll be okay. That's how I see life. And be kind to your wife, because she would never lure you away in a dark place. Like I know Vanessa, she's always, you know, done good, or always like planned things for us, knowing that it was good for us. She would never put me in a bad place. So that's all I have, and that's advice for guys. You like, because women are proactive when it comes to like doing things.
Yes, we can. I think we can attest to that.
Yes.
For sure.
Well, thank you. And you know what? It's. I guess I try to ask every time that, you know, I have couples in front of me that are, you know, old. I want to say old couples, just because you've been together, married for 12 years.
Yeah.
Do you have a little secret you want to share with us about the longevity of your love?
The secret?
I think I'm still learning this, but I wasn't aware of this prior to being married to Gilbert, is do not let your external environment affect your marriage. I think if it wasn't for external factors, family, other things, Gilbert and I would probably never fight, like ever. I take on other people's problems. I want to fix them. I want to be there for them. And it negatively weighs me down. And then I take it out on him because he's my safe space. So that's something we're actively, you know, every day we're working through, or, you know, it's always on my mind. But if I could give advice to married couples, is like, focus on your family. Because Gilbert would always say, it's us first. And I would get like almost offended, like, no, what about my family? And it's like, no, I learned that our unit is us first. And so that would be my advice, is focus on your unit first and help who you can. But if you need to set boundaries, you need to set those healthy boundaries, because this is what's important. So
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm taking notes myself, because that's a
it's
really
hard.
good one.
It's really hard, but
Yeah.
family can be good, but family could be very toxic. And so you just need to be there for them, but set boundaries so that your family is not broken.
For me, never stop learning your spouse or learning about her. You think you know her, you think she only eats this or puts on this, but then she surprises you like, oh, whoa. And so you just never stop learning your spouse, because I feel like if you keep learning them, you keep understanding them, which is communicating with them, then it makes the marriage easy. And then, because in the beginning, when you don't take those steps, it becomes a problem. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. We'll stop our episode here for today. Maybe we'll have a part 2 someday.
Hey.
And so thank you so much for watching. And I hope you had a good time, same as us here. And we'll see you guys next week. Don't forget to like. I'm always forget to say that. Don't forget to like, subscribe.
Turn on your notifications.
Yes, the worst time to say it too.
Yeah.
And see you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.